Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Resurrection of Spiritual Energy, Staying in a God-Level Nursing Home at the Beginning. Chapter 76. Zhuge Ming didn't know what Lin Xiao was thinking. He had been waiting outside for a while. He also saw Lin Xiao's previous performance on the shooting range, and he could only say that he was astonishing. Lin Xiao's terrifying learning ability surprised him very much. He is now eager to know if Lin Xiao has such strong talents in other areas. Brother Zhuge, it seems that I will learn from you next. That's right, Xiao Lin, we are all ready to teach you our skills, can't you just call us master? Lin Xiao, not. I refuse. Don't expect me to be demoted. Not everyone here can teach me things. For example, Brother Morong, I call him brother and you master. Do you think this is a problem? Zhuge Ming, winking face. That seems to be the case. Forget it, it's up to you. Anyway, I don't like these things very much. Let's not talk about this. Time is tight, so hurry up and study with me. The location where Zhuge Ming taught Lin Xiao was not far from here. Lin Xiao didn't say anything and followed him there. The two arrived quickly. What I want to teach you is disguise. How much you can learn depends on your ability. Let me think about where to start. While Zhuge Ming was still thinking, Lin Xiao raised his hand. If you have anything to say, don't be so restrained. Brother, can you let me feel it before teaching? In other words, you can set an example for me. Zhuge Ming slapped his thigh. Yes, I have to show you how powerful my thousand faces man is. Lin Xiao said he would wait and see. He originally thought Zhuge Ming would come up with something to put on makeup for himself, but Zhuge Ming's actions completely exceeded his expectations. In just the blink of an eye, Zhuge Ming in front of Lin Xiao turned into another person. Lin Xiao kept staring at Zhuge Ming and didn't find out how Zhuge Ming did it. The original Zhuge Ming was 1.8 meters tall, but in the blink of an eye, Lin Xiao turned into 1.6 meters tall, and his face turned into that of a middle-aged man. That's awesome, Brother D, how did you do it? I thought you were going to use makeup to disguise it. While Lin Xiao was talking, Zhuge Ming turned into his original appearance again. Makeup, that is also a method, but it is the lowest level. What I teach you is not that simple. Body shape, voice, gender and even smell can be changed. Lin Xiao, why? Can gender be changed? Is it so exciting? What are you thinking about? Put away your dirty thoughts, I mean you can disguise yourself as a woman, not transgender. Lin Xiao understood, but this was not bad. Okay, let's not talk about it for now. You have also seen what I am capable of. Do you want to learn it? Lin Xiao nodded like garlic. Come on, is this super cool? In this case, I will officially start teaching you. You have also seen that my body shape has changed just now. That is because through practice, I can control my bones, muscles and even fat. I will teach you how to practice. After that, Zhuge Ming told Lin Xiao how to change his body shape. When he was almost finished, he looked at Lin Xiao. Understood. Then you give it a try. Lin Xiao didn't think much and just gave it a try. He immediately started practicing according to the method taught by Zhuge Ming. Zhuge Ming had a confident smile on his face, waiting to see Lin Xiao deflated. Although the method was explained to Lin Xiao, it was impossible to succeed without several years of practice. This thing also depends on whether you have talent. Most people may not be able to learn it in a lifetime. Zhuge Ming was originally going to watch Lin Xiao's joke, but when he saw Lin Xiao's figure dropped from 1.83 meters to 1.5 meters, he fell silent. How did you kid do that? I just followed what you taught me, brother, first like this, then like that, and I succeeded. Zhuge Ming, T hollow down pointing triangle T. Suddenly I feel like a fool. Zhuge Ming did not believe in evil, and once again taught Lin Xiao some disguise methods, and Lin Xiao still learned it immediately. In the end, Zhuge Ming was made into emo. What kind of monster is this? Why is his learning ability so strong? After finally waiting until the time was almost up, Zhuge Ming let Lin Xiao leave. He suddenly realized that there seemed to be not much he could teach this boy. After 2 more classes at most, this kid will be able to become a teacher. What's going on? After coming out of Zhuge Ming's place, Lin Xiao found that there was still someone waiting for him at the door. He really didn't give him any time to rest. Information about the visitor immediately appeared in Lin Xiao's mind. Chen Yan, an 8th level SS level ice power user, is the top locksmith in the country. Lin Xiao really didn't understand that there were so many elderly people in nursing homes, and none of them were doing their jobs properly or improving their abilities. How could they all learn these heretical things? But he likes it. Chen Yan's teaching once again exceeded Lin Xiao's cognition. Originally, Lin Xiao thought that unlocking was just about learning some simple unlocking knowledge. When he saw bank-grade security doors and safes, he knew things were not that simple. The security doors and safes in this world are different from those in the previous life. The ones here can withstand supernatural attacks. Lin Xiao once again showed his amazing learning talent. In just 1 hour, he almost learned how to open conventional locks. Chen Yan is also a bit emo. What kind of monster is this? When she was studying, it took her several years to reach Lin Xiao's level. After Chen Yan, Han Hao taught Lin Xiao gambling skills and Qian Shu. Han Hao had already received news from several people before that Lin Xiao had a strong learning ability, but he did not take it seriously. There are some things that do not require strong learning ability. He believes that his skills are enough for this kid to learn for a long time. But after starting to teach Lin Xiao, Han Hao also started emo. At the beginning, because his technique was fast enough, Lin Xiao couldn't keep up with Han Hao's speed even if he used his powers. But after Han Hao explained it to him, he knew what to do. Although there is still a certain gap between him and Han Hao due to strength issues. But the specific technique has been learned by Lin Xiao. After Han Hao's class ended, it was lunchtime. When Lin Xiao went to eat, he found that the elderly people in the nursing home looked at him more eagerly. The 5 people who taught him in the morning were all sitting together at this time. They were collectively emo-ed by Lin Xiao, although Lin Xiao's terrifying learning talent made them feel like they had a successor. But in such a short period of time, they had learned a lot about the skills they had learned for a long time. This is really shocking. Lin Xiao had other classes in the afternoon, and they had decided to watch them. I have no other intention, I just want to see if other people who teach Lin Xiao will be as emo as them. One emo is not as good as many emo. After lunch, Lin Xiao ushered in the afternoon training. No rest time at all. At noon, Lin Xiao was arranged to eat high-grade spiritual beast meat. At this time, the energy in his body had already exploded. Facts have proved that although his body has been strengthened now, he still cannot bear the meat of spiritual beasts above level 6. The reason why Lin Xiao was allowed to eat high-end spiritual beast meat was because the first 2 people who were responsible for teaching him in the afternoon were both training Lin Xiao's fighting skills. Before that, Lin Xiao's weight increased again. After all, with his current physical fitness, the original weight could no longer provide him with much help. The first class in the afternoon is fighting skills training. The person in charge of teaching him is Zhongming Yuan from the nursing home. Although his abilities are not outstanding in the nursing home, his fighting skills are definitely the best. Lin Xiao naturally would not give up this opportunity to learn, and he was about to burst with energy. There is an urgent need to be abused to consume the energy in the body. And this time, they were not the only ones in the fighting gym, everyone in the nursing home came to watch. They all knew about Lin Xiao, and he learned things too quickly. This made those who had no intention of teaching Lin Xiao their skills become interested. I came here this time to see how terrifying Lin Xiao is. Zhongming Yuan didn't talk nonsense to Lin Xiao, and the two started fighting directly. This was to see how Lin Xiao's fighting skills were. Although Lin Xiao had practiced with Sun Ziyuan for a period of time before, the training was on his physical strength and reaction ability. Professional fighting skills were not taught to Lin Xiao. Therefore, how could Lin Xiao be Zhongming Yuan's opponent and be defeated in just a few rounds? Zhongming Yuan was not disappointed, but was very satisfied with Lin Xiao's performance. He originally thought that with his skills, he could defeat Lin Xiao in 1 round. Unexpectedly, Lin Xiao persisted for several rounds, which was much better than he expected. Afterwards, Zhongming Yuan taught Lin Xiao some fighting skills. Now Zhongming Yuan knew how terrifying Lin Xiao was. Lin Xiao could master the fighting skills he taught Lin Xiao in 1 go, and he could quickly apply them in actual combat. Because he was training fighting skills, he couldn't use his powers. But Lin Xiao is different. His vision enhancement does not directly enhance his own strength, and using it does not count as cheating. After the two of them fought, Lin Xiao held on longer and longer. If it weren't for the huge difference in strength between Zhang Mingyuan and Lin Xiao, Sun Mingyuan felt that he might be countered by Lin Xiao. This guy is indeed a monster. After finally waiting for the class to end, Zhang Mingyuan couldn't wait to see Lin Xiao off. If you continue, you might be embarrassed. After the fighting skills, the next course is blacksmithing. Lin Xiao liked this course very much. While listening to the teachings of the old man in charge of teaching, he kept swinging the sledgehammer forging. The main reason was to allow Lin Xiao to use up the energy he had eaten at lunch. In the past, it might have taken an afternoon to consume so much energy, but now that Lin Xiao's physical fitness has improved, he consumed all this energy in just 2 hours. The next 2 classes are other training. In the third class, Lin Xiao learned about stealing with his hands empty. In this class, Lin Xiao's performance was also very impressive, and there was even a tendency that he was better than his predecessor. The hacking skills learned in the fourth class were about programming and the like. His strong memory came into play again. In short, Liang Qixing, who was in charge of teaching, wanted to give everything he knew to this kid. At this point, the day's classes are all over. The elderly in the nursing home would watch every class, and they were also shocked by Lin Xiao's talent. Many old people could no longer bear it and went to Sun Ziyuan to ask him to arrange the next courses. They also wanted to teach Lin Xiao some of their skills. No one cares about what Lin Xiao's superpower is now. They all thought about what it would be like if Lin Xiao could learn all their skills. As long as Lin Xiao can learn these skills, then Lin Xiao will be qualified to join the Blade organization even if he has F-level powers. Suddenly I am looking forward to this little guy's future. Sun Ziyuan did not expect Lin Xiao to perform so well. Originally, only about 10 old people were willing to teach Lin Xiao their skills. In his opinion, these were enough for Lin Xiao to learn for a period of time. But he didn't expect that on the first day, those responsible for teaching Lin Xiao would come to complain to him. With Lin Xiao's learning speed, he would be able to learn almost all their knowledge in a week at most. It just takes more practice after that. This surprised Sun Ziyuan. It just so happened that so many people wanted to teach Lin Xiao this time, which could almost allocate Lin Xiao's time. In the next 2 months, Lin Xiao's life was extremely fulfilling, and he was crazily absorbing knowledge every day. He has learned a lot and has dabbled in many fields. But after learning so much, he didn't find it difficult, nor was he unable to digest it. This also made those old people feel relieved to leave all their abilities to Lin Xiao. In 2 months, Lin Xiao has changed tremendously. Although his abilities are still at the first level, just looking at his strength, he can already compete with the second-level power experts. If this were told, many people would find it unbelievable. But Lin Xiao did it, not counting the skills Lin Xiao learned. With his current true combat power, if he were to fight head-on, some level 4 experts might not be his opponent without defense. Of course, this is a head-to-head confrontation between Lin Xiao and the opponent. If it is said that he is playing dirty tricks and can use firearms, Lin Xiao's true combat power is unknown. Lin Xiao now has a headache. The elderly in the nursing home have not taught him much recently. It's not that I don't want to teach him, it's that I have nothing left to teach him. This makes Lin Xiao, who has been busy for 2 months, feel somewhat bored recently. He also focused on his own abilities. He has been trapped in the first level peak for a long time. During the secret realm assessment, his abilities were already at the first level peak. According to the old man in the nursing home, it was time for him to break through. Many ordinary people are stuck at level 1 because they have no intention of breaking through. The bottleneck from level 1 to level 2 is not very difficult. Lin Xiao trains every day. Under normal circumstances, it shouldn't be too difficult to break through. But here's the problem, Lin Xiao has been there for 2 months and there is no sign of a breakthrough. But now Lin Xiao finally felt the opportunity for a breakthrough. He immediately found a quiet room. Is it finally level 2? He has been waiting for this day for a long time. Lin Xiao's actions were naturally discovered by some elderly people in the nursing home. When they learned that Lin Xiao was about to break through to level 2, the elderly in the nursing home were also very excited. Lin Xiao has been stuck at the first level peak, and he has long made them feel that something is wrong. If Lin Xiao succeeds in breaking through, it will be a good time to see what happens to Lin Xiao's abilities. Many old people gathered outside the quiet room where Lin Xiao made a breakthrough, waiting for Lin Xiao to succeed. Lin Xiao had no time to care about these old people at this time. He was sitting cross-legged in the quiet room. During the past 2 months, he hit the first level bottleneck several times, but every time he seemed to miss something. This time he finally felt that he could break through. He directly controlled his spiritual power and began to attack the bottleneck. The bottleneck that was extremely tough before seemed to be a little fragile this time. After just a few impacts, he successfully broke through the bottleneck. Lin Xiao couldn't help but moan in comfort. It felt like a big mountain pressing on him suddenly moved away. At this moment, he finally became a level 2 superpower. Lin Xiao did not let the joy go to his head, and immediately began to check out the new abilities he had obtained after breaking through the second level. When he felt his new power, Lin Xiao didn't know what to say. Weakness detection. After using spiritual skills, there is a certain chance of observing the opponent's weakness. The specific chance is related to the opponent's level. Lin Xiao was very satisfied with this new spiritual skill. The new spiritual skills helped him a lot. The only thing that made him feel a little pity was that at his current level, if the opponent was level 4 or above, the chance of him detecting the opponent's weakness was very low. This is not a big deal. Even if a 9th level expert knows the weakness, he may not be able to do anything about it. And he will grow. When his cultivation becomes stronger, the effect of this new spiritual skill will be revealed. When he thought that if he could become a level 9 strongman, he would be able to discover the opponent's weaknesses before the fight started. Then wouldn't he have a natural advantage? In addition, Lin Xiao is still a little melancholy. He is now at the second level, but he doesn't have any offensive skills. Could it be that he was born to be only an assistant? Lin Xiao quickly threw away this unrealistic idea and joked, with his current real combat power, how could he be a support person with peace of mind? In addition, after Lin Xiao's breakthrough, his changes were not just as simple as having more spiritual power. Song Mings had said before that the pill he took contained Dragon Power Immortal Grass. The function of Dragon Power Immortal Grass was that with every breakthrough, his strength would be enhanced. This is indeed correct. His current strength has indeed increased a lot compared to before the breakthrough. Although it's unclear exactly what level he has reached now, I think it shouldn't be too bad. At this time, he had successfully broken through, and there was no need for Lin Xiao to stay in the quiet room any longer. He directly opened the door of the quiet room. The first moment he opened the door, he saw many elderly people in the nursing home looking at him eagerly. With the cultivation level of these old people present, it was natural to see at a glance that Lin Xiao had succeeded in breaking through. Xiao Lin, congratulations, you finally made a breakthrough. It's just that it's not easy for you, kid. With your talent, I really didn't expect it to take you so long to break through to the second level. What is the new spiritual skill? Let us guide you. The elderly people in the nursing home expressed their congratulations to Lin Xiao. Lin Xiao was also very moved. If nothing else, these elderly people sincerely wished him well. He also told these old people about his newly acquired magical skills. When they learned that Lin Xiao's new spiritual skill was weakness detection, none of the old people present knew what to say. Only when they reach their level can they know how practical this spiritual skill is. This magical skill is very good. Your luck is really good. It's a pity that it's too difficult to obtain a spirit bead with your special powers. We don't have a spirit bead suitable for you here. Otherwise, absorbing another spirit bead now can increase your strength again. Quote. We all know Xiaolin's spiritual skills. I feel like it's time to absorb a spiritual bead with attack powers. That's true, but there are only a few spiritual beads regarding vision, and they are also aggressive. I'm afraid it's not that simple. Seeing the old people planning for their future, Lin Xiao also felt a little sore in his eyes. In the past 2 months, although he had been trained in various ways, he could feel that the old people in front of him were all for his own good. Brothers and sisters, you can't force the Lingju matter, but I would like to ask you to help me keep an eye on it. I will search for it myself. That's natural. In order to celebrate Xiaolin's successful breakthrough, Lao Song, why don't you give us an extra dish today? Song Ming's laughed loudly. No problem, I will show you my skills today. Lin Xiao also said quickly, I will help too. Naturally, Song Ming's would not object. In 2 months, Lin Xiao had almost mastered his cooking skills. Now his cooking skills were not even inferior to his. Moreover, Lin Xiao had a good brain and often developed some new dishes by himself. The elderly in nursing homes also like the new dishes very much. Song Ming's and Lin Xiao went to prepare meals, but the eyes of the old people looking at Lin Xiao were full of reluctance. Oh, I feel bad when I think about this kid leaving soon. Come on, I remember when you first decided to let this kid stay, you were still against it. Why are you reluctant to let him go now? Can it be the same? I didn't know this kid well at the time, but now that we've been together for a long time, things are naturally different. What's the use of saying this? We are old, and Zhaolin is still young. We can't let him stay here forever. The outside world is so big, he has to go and see it. That's right. I mean, when will I tell him the news? Let's tell him directly when we have dinner. After all, he will leave tomorrow morning. I didn't expect him to break through directly. Let's take this opportunity to tell him. It's only a few days before the start of Lingwu High School, and you need to get used to it in advance. Although I'm reluctant to let go, I also want to know how much trouble this kid can cause if he goes to Lingwu High School. This kid is not a peaceful master. Haha, who can say it isn't? It doesn't matter who taught it. Stop talking, this kid is leaving. I have to prepare some farewell gifts for him. I can't let him be bullied after leaving the nursing home. That's right, I'll prepare it too. This gift can't be too light. Lin Xiao knew nothing about the fact that the elderly in the nursing home had decided to let him go to Lingwu College. At this time, he was preparing food with Song Ming's. Song Ming's didn't take any action. He was smoking a dry cigarette with a kind smile on his face, watching Lin Xiao's operations the whole time. After today, I won't be able to be so leisurely. Lin Xiao's cooking skills have been recognized by Song Ming's, and the only thing he lacks now is experience. The meal was quickly prepared by Lin Xiao. The meal was very sumptuous, and he also made many new dishes during the process. Every time he made a new dish, he would give it to Song Ming's to taste it first. Judging from Song Ming's reaction, he should be very satisfied. At this time, it was time to eat, and all the elderly people in the nursing home came to the canteen. Lin Xiao was a little surprised when he saw the scene outside. Although it was to celebrate his successful breakthrough, there were too many people there, right? In the past, these old people came to eat one after another, but this time they all came together, which really flattered him. Brother Song, the food is almost ready. Let's go out. I don't know why, but I feel a little weird. Song Ming's didn't expect Lin Xiao to be so sensitive, and it seemed that he had discovered some signs. There must be some people who cannot hide their emotions well. Go over first, we do have something to tell you. Lin Xiao was stunned for a moment. Is there something you want to tell him? For some reason, he suddenly had a bad feeling. Brother Song, don't be so pretentious and tell me directly, can't you? Do you think I've learned enough and want me to go out and take part in some action? I've been looking forward to this day for a long time. Song Ming's looked at Lin Xiao, but finally said nothing. Stop guessing, you'll find out later. After Song Ming's finished speaking, he took the lead and walked out. Lin Xiao had no choice but to follow. As soon as the two people appeared, the eyes of the old people present were on them, or to be precise, on Lin Xiao. This made Lin Xiao feel that things were really not simple. He came directly to Lu Jiao and sat down. Sister Jiao, what's going on? Why do you feel so weird today? Okay, you'll know in a minute. The scene fell silent for a moment. Shu Qing and other staff brought the food to the table, but the elderly people had no intention of using their chopsticks. Everyone's eyes were on Lin Xiao. This made Lin Xiao feel very awkward, and he couldn't help it anymore. I say, brothers and sisters, don't look at me like this. It makes my back numb. If anything happens, just tell me directly. If you keep doing this, I really won't be able to stand it anymore. Lin Xiao has said so, and the old people also know that it is time to make things clear. Everyone's eyes finally fell on Sun Ziyuan. Sun Ziyuan was very speechless. Just because he and Lin Xiao were familiar with each other and lived in the same dormitory, did he need to announce the news by himself? Are you reluctant to part with it? I'm willing to give it up. After sighing, Sun Ziyuan finally stood up. Forget it, since you can't speak, let him do it. Shaolin, it's not a big deal, I just want to inform you that starting from tomorrow, you will leave our nursing home. Lin Xiao was stunned, but he didn't expect that what he got was this news. He felt bad all over. Dear brothers and sisters, did I do something wrong? I haven't been out of the nursing home recently. I don't think I did anything wrong, right? You can hit me and scold me, but don't kick me out. Lin Xiao was really scared. As a human being, what he feared most was loneliness. Spending these days with the people in the nursing home finally made him feel like home, and he really didn't want to lose this hard-won feeling of home. What are you thinking? You didn't do anything wrong, why did we kick you out? It's just because we have taught you almost everything we can teach you, and we feel that it is too wasteful to tie you here. There are more outside, it's a vast world, so I want you to go out and have a look. We have already contacted the school for you. It is Kyoto Lingwu. You will go to school tomorrow. We have helped you get the ticket and admission notice. We will leave tomorrow morning. Quote. Lin Xiao was relieved to hear that he was not kicked out. But knowing that he still had to leave, he was still very reluctant. And we have to leave tomorrow morning. Isn't it too urgent? It's not that I look down on those Lingwu colleges and universities. Do you, brothers and sisters, think that your teachings to me are not as good as those in Lingwu colleges and universities? Is this putting the cart before the horse? I have to say that what Lin Xiao said is quite reasonable. No matter how strong Kyoto Lingwu is, it is still far behind them. But they had nothing to teach Lin Xiao. You are right, but there are other tasks for you to go to Kyoto Lingwu. What we mean is for you to go to Kyoto Lingwu and perform well there. There will be a World College competition in a few months. We want you to be more secure in selecting outstanding talents from colleges and universities. This is the first task we give you when you join the Blade organization. The task goal is to come back as a champion. Sun Ziyuan said so. What else could Lin Xiao say? Okay, I promise to complete the mission, but I really can't let you go. Okay, let you go to school. It's not like I don't want you anymore. You can still come over at any time when you are free. Lin Xiao thought about it. If this was the case, then it seemed that there would be no problem in going to Lingwu University by himself. Moreover, these old people have already decided that it is useless even if they object. At this time, they can only accept their fate. This matter is settled like this. Let's all eat. Don't make it feel like we are parting between life and death. That's right, this is a good thing. Xiaolin needs to go out for some experience. By the way, Xiaolin, the gifts we have prepared for you may come in handy this time. Soon Lin Xiao received a lot of gifts. There were so many elderly people in the nursing home. Even if each person gave one gift, Lin Xiao could receive more than 100. Although it was a bit rude to directly see what the gift was in front of the old man, Lin Xiao couldn't care so much at this time. Every time Lin Xiao picked up a piece, the old man who gave the gift began to introduce it to him. Anonymous black card, the supreme VIP of a certain club. Anyway, among so many items, each one is priceless. What Lin Xiao liked the most was the gift Cao Bo gave him. As a top scientific researcher, Cao Bo gave him the most special thing, a belt that looked very ordinary. Lin Xiao knew what it was, the mecha that Cao Bo researched. Mecha Lin Xiao has test drove mecha before and is already proficient in it. Unexpectedly, Cao Bo gave him one directly. Mecha is a man's romance. This sentence is true at all. Anyway, Lin Xiao loves it to death. There were many other weapons, firearms, etc. Lin Xiao would not refuse anyone who came and put them all into his own superpower space. Murong Yu was the most sincere and directly gave Lin Xiao a bunch of space rings. It's just that the space of these space rings is not as big as the one given to him the first time. After staying here for so long, Lin Xiao has long understood that the space ring given to him for the first time contained hundreds of square meters, and everyone in the nursing home had one of that kind. But this time, the small ones are 1 or 2 square meters, and the large ones are only dozens of square meters. With these rings, it is good whether it is used to hide the real space ring on one's body, or used as a gift. No matter what, I really made a lot of money this time. The gifts were almost collected, and naturally it was time to give Lin Xiao a proper farewell. Song Mings took out some good wine from his space ring. I was reluctant to take out this wine before, but today I'm going to give it to young Master Lin as a farewell party. I won't come back until I'm drunk today. The other old people's eyes were shining. As a state banquet chef, Song Mingzi's taste was very tricky. Wine that he can treasure is definitely a good thing. Immediately, several people grabbed the wine from Song Mingzi's hands and started pouring it. Lin Xiao also had a glass of wine in front of him. Lin Xiao looked at the wine in front of him and touched his nose sheepishly. After so many years and 2 lifetimes, he had never drank alcohol, and this was still liquor. Dear brothers and sisters, I don't know how to drink. When they heard that Lin Xiao didn't know how to drink, everyone present laughed. Boy Lin, it's okay if you don't know how to drink. You can drink with confidence today. No matter you are drunk or vomited, we are here. No matter what, you have to drink today or not drink. Drink. Just kidding, today is an early farewell for Lin Xiao. How can I make Lin Xiao stop drinking? Lin Xiao couldn't resist, so he could only raise the cup in his hand. Thank you for taking care of me. Here, I would like to toast all my brothers and sisters. The elderly people in the nursing home looked at Lin Xiao with loving faces, and also raised the cups in their hands. Song Mings was the only one who looked distressed. These were all the fine wines he had collected. He originally wanted to take out a little, but he ended up taking out so much. His heart was bleeding. But now is not the time to feel bad. After today, just take it back from other people. If you can't satisfy him, I won't cook for them anymore. Everyone raised their glasses and drank the wine in one gulp. Lin Xiao was no exception. He had never drank. After drinking a glass of wine, he felt as if his throat was on fire, and his face soon turned as red as a monkey's butt. Lin Xiao felt that his consciousness was already a little unclear. Seeing that Lin Xiao was so drunk after only one drink, the old people couldn't help laughing. Haha, I didn't expect that this kid really couldn't drink at all. He just drank so much and he was so drunk. Ignore him, let's keep drinking. The old people began to chat with each other, while Lin Xiao sat there in a daze. At this moment, he only felt a fire burning in his belly, and his whole body felt dizzy. He stood up unsteadily and greeted the elderly people in the nursing home with his remaining consciousness. Everyone, brother, sister, I'm a bit drunk, so I'll go back and rest first. The old people didn't care about Lin Xiao. In the nursing home, it was impossible for Lin Xiao to have any accidents. Okay, can you go back by yourself? No. No problem. After Lin Xiao finished speaking, he stood up and left. Old son, do you want to go and have a look? What are you looking at? Do you want to drink more wine while I'm away? I won't be fooled. I didn't expect you to find me. Please drink slowly. We don't have much wine left. Lu Jiao didn't usually drink much. Seeing Lin Xiao's drunken appearance, she was still a little worried and decided to follow him to have a look. Although he won't encounter any danger in the nursing home, it would still be a problem if this kid accidentally fell into the lake. Thinking of this, Lu Jiao said hello to the people around her and followed her. The others didn't say anything. With Lu Jiao following them, they could drink with confidence. Lin Xiao was confused at this time, and the alcohol had paralyzed his nerves. He was just acting on his own instincts. He did not go directly to his room, but went directly to the kitchen. Lu Jiao, who was following Lin Xiao, was a little surprised, but she didn't stop Lin Xiao. He wanted to see what Lin Xiao wanted to do. It can be said that Lin Xiao has no independent consciousness now, and his subconscious mind made him come to the kitchen. There was no one in the kitchen at this time, so Lin Xiao entered it easily. After entering the kitchen, Lin Xiao waved his hand and put many corpses of spirit beasts and some herbs into his space ring. This left Lu Jiao, who was following him, speechless. What's going on with this kid? Why did you come here to loot the kitchen at this time? As a 9th level healer, she could tell that Lin Xiao was completely drunk. He may not even know what he is doing now, and he will most likely not remember it when he sobers up tomorrow. She was thinking, should she wake up Lin Xiao? After thinking about it for a while, I finally gave up. When I think about this kid going to Kyoto soon, he won't be able to eat the food here. The food outside will definitely not suit his appetite. It's not a big problem to ask him to bring some ingredients there and make some by himself when he wants to eat. Just as Lu Jiao thought, Lin Xiao's actions at this time were completely subconscious. Lin Xiao was not a peaceful person to begin with, and he had actually wanted to do this for a long time. However, the cultivation level of so many elderly people in the nursing home was too high, and he was already familiar with the elderly people, so he was embarrassed to take action. In his drunken state at this time, he didn't think too much and took action directly. Maybe this is the legendary drunkenness and cowardice. Lu Jiao originally thought that Lin Xiao might go back to rest after ransacking the kitchen. Facts proved that he still underestimated Lin Xiao's greed. After Lin Xiao ransacked the kitchen, he did not choose to go back to rest, but went to other places. He went to Li Tai's elixir store and looted all of Li Tai's elixirs. Went to the forge room and took away all the weapons that could be seen in it. In short, wherever Lin Xiao went, he took away everything he could. Many of the items were locked, but this was not a problem for Lin Xiao. Lin Xiao took those items away easily. This made Lu Jiao, who had been following him, not know what to say. After a brief psychological struggle, Lu Jiao decided to let Lin Xiao go and loot. The child is leaving. Old brothers and sisters, it's not too much to give Lin Xiao something to defend himself, right? After Lin Xiao looted everything he could, he wandered back to his residence. Just lie on the bed and start to rest. And soon the sound of Lin Xiao's even breathing came from the room. Lu Jiao looked at the sky speechlessly, saying that this kid must be drunk. He searched every place he could and used the skills he taught him skillfully, and finally found his own place. Maybe he wasn't drunk, he was swaying as he walked, and she almost couldn't help but help him a few times. Forget it, that's it. I wonder how those old guys who are still eating and drinking will react if they know that their homes have been stolen by this kid. I think it should be very interesting. When she thought of the expressions of those people, Lu Jiao couldn't hide the smile on her face. Who told these old guys to be so greedy? It's time to make them pay something. When Lin Xiao woke up, it was already the next morning. He didn't know if it was because of the hangover, but he still felt a little dizzy. It seems that his drinking capacity is really bad, if he encounters such an occasion again in the future. Unless absolutely necessary, it is best not to touch alcohol as much as possible. Lin Xiao didn't know what he did after drinking yesterday. He now clearly remembered what happened before drinking. After drinking a glass of wine, he had no memory of what happened afterward. In addition, Lin Xiao did not check his interspatial ring now, so he immediately stopped talking about the looting of the nursing home yesterday. Seeing that Lin Xiao was awake, Sun Ziyuan, who had woken up a long time ago, said hello to Lin Xiao. Woke up, Lin Xiao nodded. For some reason, he felt that Sun Ziyuan looked at him strangely. Well, bro, are there any flowers on my face? No, I said you kid didn't think of anything. The elderly people already knew about Lin Xiao's ransacking of the nursing home yesterday, and they couldn't hide it. Lu Jiao also told the elderly in the nursing home that Lin Xiao was the culprit of all this. This made the old people very speechless, but when they asked them to ask for those things back from Lin Xiao, they couldn't stop them. In the end, I could only default to giving all these things to Lin Xiao. Hearing Sun Ziyuan ask this, Lin Xiao looked confused. He really couldn't remember what he had done. Could it be that he was drunk yesterday and did something outrageous? Brother, didn't I do something crazy yesterday after I was drunk? Did I do a striptease? Sun Ziyuan had been observing Lin Xiao's expression. Seeing that Lin Xiao's expression did not seem to be fake, he also knew that Lin Xiao had really forgotten what he did last night. He had already thought of such a situation. Lin Xiao was 100% drunk yesterday. This could not be faked. Whether you were really drunk or not, everyone can tell at a glance. But who would have thought that this kid would be able to rob a nursing home when he was drunk? No, I didn't do anything inappropriate. Today is the day you leave the nursing home. I feel a little reluctant to leave you. Here are your tickets and admission notice. I will ask Xiao Shu to send you there later, but we won't send you away. Quote. Lin Xiao nodded, took the ticket from Sun Ziyuan, and looked at the time on it. It was a ticket for noon. It was already past 9 in the morning, and it was almost time to set off. Drinking was such a waste. For nearly 2 months, he got up at 2 or 3 in the morning. After getting up, I went to learn cooking skills from Song Ming's. For 2 months, no matter whether it was windy or rainy, I never stopped. Just because I drank, my biological clock was messed up. Drinking really messed up things. Brother, where are the other brothers and sisters? I'm leaving now, so naturally I have to say goodbye to everyone. No, we agreed yesterday that you can just leave by yourself. We are old and don't like this kind of parting scene. Lin Xiao was silent. He always felt that it was not good to leave like this. But seeing Sun Ziyuan's appearance, he knew that it would be useless to say more. Then when I have a holiday, I will come see you. That's necessary. After all, you are still a member of our nursing home. You still have to come back for a visit during the holidays. Okay, Xiao Shu is waiting for you outside. I won't send you off either. He will send you there, of the station. Lin Xiao opened his mouth, but finally said nothing. He didn't salute. After thinking about it, he went over and hugged Sun Ziyuan. Brother, I didn't say anything. Thank you for taking care of me these days. I'm leaving. Sun Ziyuan only felt that his nose was sore. Alas, from today on, he has to live alone again. For some reason, he suddenly felt a little lonely. Lin Xiao left his room and found Xu Qing waiting for him outside the door. After spending so many days together, Lin Xiao and Xu Qing have already become familiar with each other. After all, the person in the nursing home who is about the same age as him is Xu Qing. Xiao Shu, after I leave, take good care of my brothers and sisters. Xu Qing couldn't help but roll her eyes. She had seen how shameless this boy was. Ever since he started calling himself Xiao Shu, he had never changed his name. This guy really regarded himself as an uncle. Normally, she would have to argue with Lin Xiao. But today was the day for Lin Xiao to leave, so she was too lazy to argue with Lin Xiao. Uncle Lin, don't worry about this, I will take good care of the seniors in the nursing home. Xiao Shu, I'm not telling you, you just can't let go and restrict yourself too much, which will only alienate those old brothers and sisters from you. Xu Qing naturally knew why Lin Xiao said that. In fact, she really envied Lin Xiao. Although Lin Xiao seemed to be neither old nor young, he really regarded those old people as his relatives, and those old people were happy to get along with him. Lin Xiao's appearance put a lot more smiles on the faces of the elderly. She also wanted to be like Lin Xiao. If she were not so reserved, maybe the old people would be more kind to her. But knowing is one thing, doing it is another. She grew up hearing about the heroic deeds of many old people. When facing these old people, she would unconsciously become cautious and uneasy. There is nothing that can be done about it. After all, not everyone is as heartless as Lin Xiao. I know Uncle Lin, I will try to change. It's almost time. We have to drive there. Time is a bit tight, so don't waste any more time. Let's go. Brother Morong is too. Just teleport and take me to the station. Why bother? Xu Qing couldn't help but rolled her eyes, only this guy dared to speak like this. In his opinion, China's #1 space expert is just a tool on the road. After leaving his dormitory, Lin Xiao originally thought that he would meet a few elderly people in the nursing home, so that he would have to say hello to them anyway. But when I came out, I was surprised not to see an old man. This made him somewhat uncomfortable. When he arrived at the gate, he found that even Uncle Zhang at the gate was not there. At this moment, he understood. Maybe these old people really don't like the scene of parting. When they walked out of the nursing home, there was already a car waiting for them at the door. Lin Xiao did not get in the car immediately, but bowed deeply to the nursing home. After a long while, he stood up and shouted loudly in the direction of the nursing home. Brothers and sisters, I will come back often. After shouting, Lin Xiao got into the car and Xu Qing was responsible for driving. After the car drove a certain distance, the elderly people in the nursing home who had been hiding in the dark appeared. Alas, this kid is finally gone. I don't know why, but I always feel empty inside. Sure enough, as you get older, you get sentimental easily. But pull it off. I originally wanted to send this kid away, but he robbed all my pills. I was afraid of seeing him, so I couldn't help but beat him up. +1, +10,086. The nursing home was not close to the station. It took more than an hour for Xu Qing to drive Lin Xiao to the station. It was the end of August, when students were going to school, so there were not many people at the station. When Lin Xiao was in the nursing home, he contacted Zhou Ji several times. Zhou Ji also went to Lingwu, Kyoto. Not only Zhou Ji, but also Lu Ruyan and Ji Boxiao also went to Lingwu, Kyoto. Zhou Ji had set off a few days in advance. Lin Xiao didn't know that he was going to, so he didn't say hello to Zhou Ji. Otherwise, the two of them would have gone there together. At least they wouldn't be lonely if they had a companion on the road. After Xu Qing saw him off at the station, she left straight away, which made Lin Xiao very helpless. He originally wanted to chat with Xu Qing while waiting for the bus, but it seemed that he could only wait alone. This is the first time Lin Xiao has left Zuncheng. It is impossible to say that he is not excited at all. Although he was extremely reluctant to leave the nursing home, he also wanted to see the outside world. This time the destination is Lingwu, Kyoto, and I don't know what is waiting for me. While Lin Xiao was quietly waiting for the bus, he glanced at two acquaintances. Who else could it be if they weren't Ji Boxiao and Lu Ruyan? Lin Xiao cursed secretly that he was unlucky. He must have gone out without looking at the almanac today, otherwise how could he have been traveling on the same day as these two people? You can't see me, you can't see me. Now he doesn't want to have anything to do with the two of them. I don't know if it's because he's getting more and more afraid of something, or because Lin Xiao is just too dazzling. Lu Ruyan saw Lin Xiao immediately. For some reason, when Lin Xiao looked at Lu Ruyan, he seemed to see a hint of joy in Lu Ruyan's eyes. Ji Boxiao soon discovered Lin Xiao. Without any hesitation, he walked directly towards Lin Xiao. Lin Xiao had shouted in his heart countless times to retreat. But seeing the two people getting closer and closer to him, they could only accept the result helplessly. He is not afraid of the two of them, and dealing with them is not just about pinching them. But Lin Xiao didn't want to have any interaction with these two people, as that would only make him feel sick. Lin Xiao, I finally found you. Lin Xiao looked at Ji Boxiao who he had sent over. He didn't bother to pay attention to this guy and turned away. Being ignored by Lin Xiao, Ji Boxiao also had a confused look on his face. After seeing Lin Xiao, Lu Ruyan's face did show a different look. In fact, during this period of time, she had already regretted her decision. Ji Boxiao's performance in the last secret realm made her feel that Ji Boxiao was unreliable. Because of this, the Ji family did not regard Ji Boxiao as their true heir. If it weren't for the fact that other members of the Ji family were really useless, Ji Boxiao might have been deprived of the qualification to become the heir. There was no other big tree in Zuncheng for the time being, so she might have dumped Ji Boxiao long ago. When we get to Kyoto, let's see if we can find new big trees. When she saw Lin Xiao this time, she immediately felt that Lin Xiao was different from before. After not seeing him for 2 months, Lin Xiao seemed to be more handsome than before. Lin Xiao's body unconsciously exuded a fascinating temperament, which made her unable to help but fall deeply into it. How come this has not been discovered before? The reason why Lin Xiao appeared here must be that he knew that he was leaving for Kyoto today, so he specially waited for him here. He is indeed still interested in me. Lu Ruyan felt happy when she thought of this. If this guy has a good attitude, I don't mind letting him continue to be my backup. Lin Xiao, have I given you face? Believe it or not, I will find someone to kill you in minutes. Lin Xiao was speechless. Isn't his attitude obvious enough? I really can't be bothered to pay attention to this guy. Lin Xiao directly raised his hand. Security, security, someone is causing trouble here, are you going to ignore it? Lin Xiao directly called the security guard at the station. Although he wanted to deal with Ji Boxiao very easily, he did not want to take action here. This is a public place after all. It would be bad if this caused a bad impact. The security guard was not far from Lin Xiao. Hearing Lin Xiao's voice, he rushed over immediately. He immediately saw Ji Boxiao with a bad expression on his side. Sir, please don't make trouble at the station. Otherwise, I won't mind asking you out. Ji Boxiao didn't expect that Lin Xiao wouldn't give him any face. When he saw the eyes of everyone around him, he didn't want to make the matter too big, so he could only leave angrily. When Lu Ruyan saw Ji Boxiao being so cowardly, a trace of disdain flashed across her face. How could I be blind at that time and follow such a coward? When I thought that I might have to get in the car soon, I still had to talk to Lin Xiao at this time. Thinking of this, she came to Ji Boxiao's side. Brother Bo Xiao, I know you really want to deal with him. Just wait here and I'll go talk to him. Ji Boxiao glanced at Lu Ruyan suspiciously. These days, he also felt that Lu Ruyan's attitude towards him was different from before, and he didn't take it seriously. After all, he only used Lu Ruyan as a tool to vent his anger. Okay, go talk to him and let him know that I will not let him go. Don't think that I can't deal with him after I go to Kyoto. I see. Lu Ruyan left and came back again, making Lin Xiao's face darken quickly, as if he felt as uncomfortable as eating an ollie. Just when he was about to call for security support again, Lu Ruyan spoke first. Lin Xiao, don't get me wrong, I'm not here to stir up trouble, I just have something to tell you. In the end, Lin Xiao did not call security again, but he was not polite at all. I don't think we have anything to say. If we have something to say, we have nothing to say. Lin Xiao, I admit that I was wrong before. I also realized my mistake. I also know that you still have me in your heart. Otherwise, you would not have come here to find me after knowing that I was going to Kyoto today. I promise you, we can still be the same as before. Lu Ruyan's words made Lin Xiao feel uncomfortable. How many times have I failed to let her recognize the reality? How much did the original owner of this body lick before, to give Lu Ruyan such an illusion? Lu Ruyan, let me tell you for the last time, don't take yourself too seriously. The relationship between a man and a woman is a journey. You can look back after separation, but you can't go back because you are fully responsible for going retrograde. So there is no possibility for us. Quote, don't be so harsh. I know you still have me in your heart. I have already admitted my mistake. What else do you want? If you don't have me in your heart, why are you here? Lin Xiao didn't know what to say anymore. He had never seen such a shameless person. And just at this moment, the station's announcement rang out at the right time. Dear passengers, the G580 train bound for Kyoto is about to enter the station. Passengers who have not yet checked in, please check in as soon as possible. I wish you a pleasant journey. Lin Xiao was too lazy to continue talking nonsense with Lu Ruyan, raised the ticket in his hand, and went to check it on his own. Lu Ruyan was left alone and messy, and he really didn't come here for her. Also, why is he going to Kyoto? Lu Ruyan still felt a little incredible when she looked at Lin Xiao's leaving figure. But her face soon showed a sweet and confident smile again. This guy must have gone to Kyoto for her, otherwise it would be unreasonable. She was also on this train. Since it was the same train, there must be a chance to meet. Thinking of this, Lu Ruyan did not choose to continue to be entangled, but went to find Ji Boxiao. Ji Boxiao knew from a distance that Lin Xiao didn't give Lu Ruyan a good look, so he didn't ask any more questions. He also saw Lin Xiao going to check the tickets, which made him a little excited. This guy also goes to Kyoto. Lu Ruyan nodded. When Lin Xiao showed him the ticket just now, she clearly saw that Lin Xiao's destination was Kyoto and he would not get off the bus halfway. That's good. When we get to Kyoto, I'll have plenty of opportunities to deal with this guy. Let's go. Let's check the tickets too. Lin Xiao quickly checked in and entered the station. He looked at the ticket in his hand and realized that the ticket he bought was actually a business ticket. It didn't take long for Lin Xiao to get on the bus. Looking at the rows of luxurious seats, Lin Xiao had a smile on his face. It seemed like I was enjoying the journey quite a bit. The high-speed trains in this world are almost the same as those in the previous life, but in order to prevent attacks by spiritual beasts, each train has a dedicated strong person responsible for escorting it. Attacks by spiritual beasts may not happen every few years. Lin Xiao didn't believe that he would encounter them once he went out. This is not something he should be concerned about. Even if there are spiritual beasts, there will be masters to solve it. Lin Xiao was in a very good mood, but his good mood did not last long. When he saw Ji Boxiao and Lu Ruyan in the same carriage with him, he really didn't know what to say. At this moment, he even wondered if the old man in the nursing home was deliberately teasing him and buying today's ticket on purpose. When Ji Boxiao and Lu Ruyan saw that Lin Xiao was here, the expressions on their faces were also very exciting. Although Ji Boxiao wanted to deal with Lin Xiao, he did not dare to do it on the train. In this world, the train conductors on the train have high level of cultivation, just to prevent people with superpowers from causing trouble on the train. If he really makes any noise, I'm afraid he won't be able to stop it. Lu Ruyan was surprised that such a stingy person as Lin Xiao was willing to buy a business ticket. You must know that Lin Xiao was very frugal before, and most of the money he earned from part-time work was given to her. When thinking of this, Lu Ruyan thought that Lin Xiao made a lot of money the last time he was in the secret realm, but none of the money was given to her. It should have been hers. She has been with Ji Boxiao for a while. Although Ji Boxiao gave her a lot of money, the total of these 2 months was only more than 2 million. It seems like a lot, but in this world of spiritual recovery, 2 million is really not enough. He could easily throw a check for 5 million to Lin Xiao, but he only gave himself so much for such a long time. Lu Ruyan really regretted following Ji Boxiao. It seems that when we get to Kyoto, we really need to consider raising a few more fish. The first fish is Lin Xiao. Although Lin Xiao's attitude has been a bit unclear recently, she still believes that as long as she persists, Lin Xiao will become her liquor again. Lin Xiao didn't care what these two people thought. After seeing them, he felt extremely uncomfortable. Lu Ruyan and Ji Boxiao quickly found their seats and sat down. I don't know if Ji Boxiao wanted to stimulate Lin Xiao and kept touching Lu Ruyan during this period. Lu Ruyan did not refuse, and kept watching Lin Xiao's expression during this period. Lin Xiao is really speechless. This is a public place after all. Can you two be more careful? It's really disgusting. You opened the door to disgust. It's so disgusting. He really wanted to call the conductor on the train over and ask if he could take care of this matter. Fortunately, there are more than just the three of them in this carriage, there are other people as well. Before Lin Xiao could take action, someone complained to the flight attendant. After understanding the situation, the flight attendant also explained the situation to the two of them tactfully. Ji Boxiao and Lu Ruyan did not continue. Their original intention was to stimulate Lin Xiao. Their goal had been achieved, so there was no need to continue. Although he has restrained himself a lot in his actions, he still keeps saying disgusting words in his words. Lin Xiao was too lazy to care about the two of them. He was lying on his business seat. As the train started, he decided to find headphones and listen to music. Since the nausea is still going on, it's better to stop listening, otherwise he will really be nauseated and vomited. Lin Xiao had headphones. Thinking of this, he wanted to find it in his space ring. Lin Xiao's eyes quickly became surprised. He couldn't help but be surprised that the originally empty storage space was almost full now. After a brief feeling, he knew there was something in it. Hiss. Many of the things inside were the treasures of the elderly in the nursing home. Some of the things he had asked for several times were not even willing to be given to him by the elderly. Why are you all lying in your own space ring at this time? Not everyone can open the space ring, unless the owner of the ring agrees or dies. Under other circumstances, if you want to open the space ring, the owner of the ring will definitely react. The elders in the nursing home are incomparable to him in terms of cultivation. Anyone can forcefully open his space ring. Could it be that I slept too much last night? So there is no feeling. He was soon relieved. Among those old people, there was also Morong Yu, a big shot in the space department. He made his own space ring. Isn't it easy to open his space ring silently and put something in it? Alas, these old people really want to give these things to themselves, can they refuse? Are you someone who doesn't appreciate praise? By the way, a lot of the things here are priceless. You can just sell a few pieces and you'll be fine. Brothers and sisters, I really love you. Lin Xiao was immediately immersed in his self-fantasy, and his mood became happy. If the elderly people in the nursing home knew what Lin Xiao was thinking now, they would probably not be able to help but catch up and give Lin Xiao a good beating. They didn't give those to Lin Xiao. Lin Xiao stole them when he was drunk. It's better now that it was given to him by themselves. Can you do whatever you want after drinking the pill? Lin Xiao was still feeling moved at this time. Among so many items, he finally found headphones and an eye mask. Wearing the headphones and eye mask, he started to recuperate. It blocked out the noise from outside and couldn't see anything I didn't want to see. It really felt a lot more comfortable. The train also departed at this time, and Lin Xiao finally left Zuncheng. It takes 3 or 4 hours to arrive in Kyoto, and Lin Xiao has already begun to yearn for life in Kyoto. Lin Xiao's performance also fell into Ji Baxiao's eyes. Seeing that Lin Xiao could no longer be stimulated, both of them fell silent. The punch seemed to hit cotton, making him feel very uncomfortable. The time on the train was not boring. Although Lin Xiao was wearing headphones and an eye mask, he really couldn't fall asleep if he was asked to sleep. Without him, I had enough rest last night. Therefore, Lin Xiao spent most of his time counting the items in his space ring. He didn't know what he was doing. He was shocked when he did the counting. If he hadn't been drunk yesterday, he would have thought he had robbed the nursing home. The only thing that surprised him was that there seemed to be some semi-finished products inside. Lin Xiao soon understood that these old people didn't want to be too bored outside, so they could complete these semi-finished products when they were bored. For themselves, these old people really have good intentions. The attack by the spirit beast still didn't happen. Dear passengers, we are arriving at Kyoto Higashi Station ahead. Passengers who are about to get off the train, please pick up their belongings in advance and get off in an orderly manner. Lin Xiao, who heard the broadcast, finally took off his eye mask and headphones. It's really exciting to arrive in Kyoto so soon. Lin Xiao did not go to see Ji Baxiao and Lu Ruyan. One look at them made people sick to their stomachs. He would not ask for trouble. After the train arrived at the station, Lin Xiao couldn't wait to get out of the train. Kyoto, here I come. As soon as he got off the train, Lin Xiao was shocked by the prosperity of Kyoto. Although Zuncheng is considered prosperous, compared with Kyoto, it is nothing. The prosperity of Kyoto is as dazzling as the bright stars. High-rise buildings tower into the clouds, their glass curtain walls reflecting the sunlight and shining brightly. The streets are bustling with traffic and pedestrians, busy and fulfilling. The noise of vehicles and the noise of the crowd are intertwined, forming a unique symphony of the city. Lin Xiao had never been in this world and had lived in a nursing home most of the time. Suddenly he was exposed to the torrent of the city, and he suddenly felt a little unrealistic. Maybe he is really out of touch with the real world. Following the passenger passage, we quickly found the exit. As soon as I left the station, I saw the big sign of Kyoto Reibu. The first day of school at Kyoto Reibu is coming soon. A university like Kyoto Reibu will naturally organize senior students to pick up new students. Lin Xiao also consciously walked in that direction. Ji Baxiao and Lu Ruyan also walked in that direction. Seeing Lin Xiao always in front of them, Ji Baxiao couldn't help but sarcastic again. Haha, some people don't think that by taking the first place in the secret realm assessment, they can be admitted to Kyoto Lingwu. It's really funny. The reason why Ji Baxiao said this was not without purpose. Lin Xiao's performance did attract the attention of many Lingwu colleges and universities, but after learning that Lin Xiao's power was only F level, they all gave up. The reason why Lin Xiao was able to enter Kyoto Lingwu this time was not because he was recruited by the school, but because the elderly people in the nursing home were admitted directly through connections. There are 2 former principals of Kyoto Reibu in the nursing home, so it is very simple to get someone in. Even the current principal would not dare to say otherwise. Lin Xiao was too lazy to pay attention to Ji Baxiao, he would slap Ji Baxiao in the face with his actions. Lin Xiao came directly to the welcoming team of Kyoto Lingwu. Seeing Lin Xiao standing still in the queue, a beautiful senior sister in the orientation team immediately spoke. Hello, I am Wu Ling from Kyoto Lingwu. Are you a new student in our Kyoto Lingwu? If so, please show your admission notice. When Wu Ling saw Lin Xiao, his heart couldn't help but beat violently. I had thought before that it would be great if such a handsome guy could be my junior. Unexpectedly, Lin Xiao actually came to their welcome center. Hello senior sister, I am a new student in this class. My name is Lin Xiao. Please take good care of me in the future. Lin Xiao said as he handed over his admission notice. Wu Ling looked at the notice handed over by Lin Xiao and read the information on it. Lin Xiao, SS level strength department, not bad. The bus I took you to our school was full just short of you. Lin Xiao naturally had no objection. When the car was full, there was no need to share the same car with Ji Baxiao and Lu Ruyan. This made people happy both physically and mentally. When did my own abilities become SS-level power systems? After the admission notice was given to him, he didn't read it carefully, and only now did he realize that his superpower had been changed to SS-level power. This should have been done by the elderly in the nursing home. In fact, this is not wrong. My current strength is indeed not inferior to SS-level strength. This senior, we are also freshmen in Kyoto Lingwu. Do you want to take a good look at his admission notice? We are from the same place as him. We also know about his superpowers. They are not SS-level powers at all. Yes, his ability is F-level, we suspect that he falsified the notice. Ji Boxiao's voice sounded at the right time, and Wu Ling's eyes immediately looked over. Seeing that it was Ji Boxiao who spoke, she couldn't help but frown. It wasn't that she judged people by their appearance. In fact, in front of Lin Xiao, Ji Boxiao was really too ordinary, even a bit ugly in comparison. This classmate, are you doubting me? Do you think I can be responsible for welcoming new students here and even read our school's admission notice wrongly? Wu Ling's words were full of sullenness. She was 100% sure that there was nothing wrong with Lin Xiao's admission notice. Senior sister, what I said is true. We are all from Zuncheng, and we all know his powers. Ruyan, don't you think so? Lu Ruyan still didn't understand why Lin Xiao also became a member of Kyoto Lingwu. When she heard Ji Boxiao's words, she nodded subconsciously. Seeing both of them saying this, Wu Ling was a little confused, but there was nothing wrong with Lin Xiao's admission notice. What was going on? Lin Xiao sighed, these two guys are really lingering. Looking at Shiden beside him, Lin Xiao immediately had an idea. Walking to the stone pier, he easily lifted the stone pier. Sometimes no matter how much you say, it is not as convincing as actual actions. A smile immediately appeared on Wu Ling's face. The stone pillars on the road were not light. If it were not for the strength system, he would not have been able to lift them up so lightly. You two, don't make trouble here, Lin Xiao, let's go get a ride. Ji Boxiao wanted to say something more, but Lu Ruyan stopped him. Brother Bo Xiao, I feel that the admission notice is not a fake. If it is a fake, won't it be immediately revealed when you get to school? When Ji Boxiao thought about it, it seemed that this was really the case. What did Kyoto Ribu think? Why should Lin Xiao be admitted, and how did this guy become a member of the power department? This is unscientific. Lin Xiao didn't care what the two of them thought. Under the leadership of Wu Ling, Lin Xiao had already boarded the school bus to Lingwu, Kyoto. There were 20 or 30 freshmen from Kyoto Lingwu sitting in the school bus. Lin Xiao could feel the vitality on their faces. But he felt a little out of place. Could it be that he had become old-fashioned after spending a long time with the elderly in the nursing home? There was one last seat in the car, so Lin Xiao sat on it directly. The appearance of Lin Xiao made the eyes of the women in the car brighten. Although there were some handsome boys in the car before, they were far behind compared with Lin Xiao. The man in the car looked at Lin Xiao less friendly. As soon as Lin Xiao appeared, the girl's eyes were attracted away. He's so handsome, isn't he? Lin Xiao naturally felt the gazes of these people, but he didn't take them seriously. So childish. Wu Ling also set off with the bus. After the bus started to move, Wu Ling immediately began to fulfill his obligations. Hello fellow juniors and seniors, I believe many of you know me. I am your sophomore senior. My name is Wu Ling, SS level wind type. It will take some time to get to school from here, so why not take this opportunity? Let's all get familiar with each other, let's introduce ourselves, let's start with this junior. The classmate who was pointed out by Wu Ling immediately stood up. Hello everyone, my name is Zhang Yichen, A-level fire type. Please take good care of me in the future. I am Shu Xia, S-level fire type. Lin Xiao, SS level strength system. Soon everyone had finished the introduction, and Lin Xiao was also a little surprised. Counting him, there were a total of 32 freshmen on the bus, 21 A levels, 7 S levels, and the rest were all SS levels. He somewhat understood why the old man in the nursing home gave him an SS level strength system. Are you afraid of making yourself inferior? I have to say that Kyoto Lingwu is really full of geniuses. After introducing himself, Lin Xiao found that the girls in the car looked at him even more eagerly. He also pretended not to see it. Anyway, He had no idea of having a girlfriend for the time being. Women will only affect the speed at which he draws his sword. Wu Ling continued to do the warm-up work, and everyone soon became familiar with each other, chatting in groups of 3 and 5. Lin Xiao didn't speak, but he also pricked up his ears. In the conversations of these people, there were also topics that interested him. Did you know, in our current class, there was a monster who was born with dual elements, and he is now a level 4 powerhouse. How could I not know? Not only are they born with dual elements, but they are also SSS level. I really don't know how the two contradictory powers of light and dark can appear in one person. You are talking about Luo Yao, right? I heard that she awakened on her own at the age of 10. She is really a monster. The key is that I heard that Luo Yao is also very beautiful. She hasn't even started school yet, and she has already been officially designated as the top 10 school beauties in Lingwu, Kyoto. Really, I really want to see her in person. With such a beautiful woman, there must be many people chasing her. I know this. There were really many people chasing her in the past, but now there are basically not many. It's impossible. How can such a perfect girl have no suitors? Is it because she is too strong? You don't know this, and you don't know if it's because she was born with dual elements. Luo Yao seems to have a dual personality. When using the light element, she is very shy. I heard that even strangers will blush when talking to her, but when using the dark system, she was a complete witch. There was no suitor before that she had not beaten by her. As time went by, those suitors became afraid of being beaten, and gradually no one dared to pursue her. Quote. The conversations of these people clearly reached Lin Xiao's ears. For some reason, Lin Xiao suddenly became interested in this Luo Yao. Born with two elements, the rare light and dark elements. She also has a dual personality. What kind of fairy woman is this? Luo Yao is also a freshman in Kyoto Lingwu, but he is already a level 4 expert. Is it possible that many senior students have not reached level 4 yet? I wonder who can be stronger if I use all my strength. Lin Xiao is still very confident in his current strength, and his true combat power should be around level 4. Before, he looked down on the students of Kyoto Lingwu. At this moment he changed his mind. The world has never been short of geniuses. When he arrived in Lingwu, Kyoto, he believed that he would meet Luo Yao soon. I wonder what kind of strange woman this is. Lin Xiao had a strong interest in Luo Yao, but that was all. He had no other ideas. After that, Lin Xiao quietly became a listener and learned some information about the school. Who are the top 10 school beauties? Who are the standouts among the freshmen this time? He knew a lot about the geniuses in the school. During this period, several women took the initiative to talk to him, but he ignored them. Lin Xiao's attitude also discouraged those women, but it also made them more interested in Lin Xiao. After a full hour, the bus finally arrived at Lingwu, Kyoto. As soon as they got off the bus, the 4 characters, Kyoto Lingwu, fell into everyone's eyes. The 4 characters are vigorous and powerful, and one of them is written by a famous artist. There were many senior students in charge of the upper grades at the school gate. When they saw a car arriving, they rushed over screaming. One by one, they consciously took over the luggage from the junior students. As for the junior students, no one cared about them. Seeing this, Lin Xiao also felt a little funny. Is this the legendary college life? Not to mention, it's quite interesting. Fortunately, his luggage and other items were all in the space ring, which made him feel a lot more relaxed. Maybe it was because there were more wolves than meat. After all the luggage of the girls in the car was robbed, the remaining people finally began to pay attention to these juniors. A tall and thin man also appeared next to Lin Xiao. Hello, Junior, I am Zhang Wei, a sophomore. Show me your notice. I will check which dormitory you were in and I will take you to the dormitory. Lin Xiao thanked him and obediently handed over his admission notice. Zhang Wei quickly found out where Lin Xiao's dormitory was through special software. Okay Junior, I already know where your dormitory is. I'll take you there. Thank you, Senior. After that, the two entered the campus, and Zhang Wei introduced the buildings on campus to Lin Xiao along the way. As the top Lingwu University in China, Kyoto Lingwu has nothing to say about its architecture. It is not a majestic teaching building, but full of antique charm. Lin Xiao likes this style very much. Under the leadership of Zhang Wei, the two quickly arrived at Lin Xiao's dormitory building. Junior, your dormitory is No. 303, Building 10. Because you have no luggage, I won't send you up. I didn't get the junior girl in this bus. I have to wait for the next bus. I can't let those people go there. Got it. Lin Xiao. Thank you, senior. I wish you good luck. Haha, I will definitely do it. I have a hunch. Whether I can be single or not depends on my next car. After seeing off Zhang Wei, Lin Xiao went to his dormitory. Kyoto Lingwu is indeed the top Lingwu university in the country, and this dormitory building is still very impressive. Lin Xiao had heard before that the dormitory in Lingwu in Kyoto was for 4 people to a room, and he didn't know if his roommate was here. Dormitory 303 was not difficult to find, and Lin Xiao quickly found his dormitory. The door to the dormitory was open. It seemed that someone had already arrived before him. Lin Xiao walked into the dormitory and saw a young man sorting his belongings in the dormitory. Lin Xiao was speechless when he saw the man. Without him, this was someone he knew. He was Sun Ziyuan's great-grandson Sun Bin. When Sun Ziyuan celebrated his 99th birthday, he and Sun Bin had a chance meeting. The world is so small. When Sun Bin heard the movement, he turned around and was very surprised when he saw Lin Xiao. Why did you come to Lingwu, Kyoto? Sun Bin knew Lin Xiao, but he didn't know much about Lin Xiao. He only met Sun Ziyuan once on his birthday. But he knew that Lin Xiao was a member of the Red Sun nursing home, and those who could live there were definitely not ordinary people, so he unconsciously used honorifics. Lin Xiao couldn't help but rolled his eyes. What's wrong? Your family runs Kyoto Lingwu. You can come, but I can't. Sun Ziyuan also realized at this time that Lin Xiao's real age was actually about the same as him, and even looked younger than him. That's not what I meant, I just didn't expect to see you here. Lin Xiao was quite satisfied with Sun Bin's attitude. You also live in this dormitory? Yes, senior, are you here to see me? Lin Xiao came empty-handed. If he was a new student, he should have luggage. This is why Sun Bin subconsciously thought that Lin Xiao came to see him. What are you thinking about? I am also a freshman in this class, and this is my dormitory. Sun Bin. N. Summation, degree. Senior, are you here to experience life? Or do you have a special mission? Is there anything I can do to help? Lin Xiao was a little helpless. This Sun Bin seemed to have become his little fanboy. What Sun Bin said was actually correct. He came to Lingwu in Kyoto this time for a mission. He came over and hugged Sun Bin's shoulders. Xiao Sun, you just need to know some things yourself. Don't tell anyone. In the nursing home, Brother Sun and I are considered brothers. In terms of seniority, I am also your great-grandfather. Come and call me great-grandfather. Sun Bin shocked face Oh. Although I respect Lin Xiao very much, why do I feel that his smile is weird? Lin Xiao was about the same age as him, so if he was asked to call him Grandpa Lin Xiao, he really couldn't say it. Lin Xiao also saw this and took out his cell phone. Isn't it just for this day that I shamelessly call the people in the nursing home brothers? It seems that you are a little unhappy. I have already arrived at school and haven't reported to the hospital that I am safe. I just want to talk to Brother Sun. In front of Sun Bin, Lin Xiao directly dialed Sun Ziyuan's Green Pao, and Sun Ziyuan soon answered the Green Pao call. Brother Sun, I have arrived in Lingwu, Kyoto. You brat, you still have some conscience and know how to give us peace. Brother, it's just one thing to tell you that you're safe. Who do you think this is? After Lin Xiao finished speaking, he turned the camera to Sun Bin. Sun Bin saw Sun Ziyuan and said hello quickly, Master. Sun Ziyuan was also stunned for a moment when he saw Sun Bin. Hey, brat, why are you with Brat Lin? By the way, you seem to be a freshman in Kyoto Lingwu this year, I forgot about it. Master, I happen to be assigned to the same dormitory as Senior Lin. I see, Xiao Lin, since you and Banner share a dormitory, you should take care of this kid more in the future. We are considered brothers. In terms of seniority, Banner is also your junior. Lin Xiao. Degree. Ness. Without even opening his mouth, Brother Sun gave him a super senior. Okay, I'll take care of it. Brother Sun, let me say hello to the brothers and sisters in the nursing home. I just want to say hello to you and bring you gifts when I go back. After hanging up the green bubble, Lin Xiao immediately looked at Sun Bin. What else could Sun Bin say? His grandfather had already spoken. If he dared not to scream, he was afraid that his grandfather would fly over and slap him. Hello, little master. Call me Tai, just Tai. Why do you want to add a younger one? Forget it, since you call me Tai, I will protect you from now on. If you encounter any difficulties in Lingwu, Kyoto, I will solve them for you. Thank you very much, young master. By the way, hasn't everyone else in the dormitory arrived yet? Well, I was the first one to arrive. There are only a few days until school starts. I believe they should arrive in these 2 days. Little master, where is your luggage? I will help you pack the bed. There are ready-made coolies, so there is no need to use them in vain. Lin Xiao directly took out his luggage from the space ring. In front of Sun Bin, it doesn't matter if the fact that he owns a space ring is exposed, and it will be exposed sooner or later. He is currently wearing a space ring on his hand, but it is not the one he usually uses. This space is much smaller. Few, mainly just to deceive others. The extra-large one he used was too high profile. Sun Bin immediately understood that Lin Xiao had a space ring, and tears of envy flowed from the corners of his mouth. Little master, this is a space ring. I really envy you for having a space ring. What, you don't have one? Sun Bin suddenly didn't know what to say. Even the most common space ring cost millions, and it was priceless. Even if he wanted to buy it, he couldn't buy it. My great-grandfather knew Senior Morong and gave his family a few storage rings, but not enough to share with him. This really doesn't exist. You can have this. There is no problem with Sun Bin's identity. He is also Brother Sun's great-grandson. There should be no problem in giving him a storage ring. Thinking of this, Lin Xiao directly took out a space ring with a storage space of about 10 square meters and threw it to Sun Bin. You can call me Grandpa, but I can't treat you badly. This storage ring can be regarded as a meeting gift from me. Sun Bin looked at the space ring in his hand and didn't know what to say for a moment. I checked the space ring in my hand and found that the space inside was more than 10 square meters. This meeting gift seemed too heavy. Thank you, young master. If you have any instructions in the future, just ask. Lin Xiao nodded with satisfaction. Sun Bin's call of master was much more pleasant to the ear. Without waiting for Lin Xiao's instructions, Sun Bin spontaneously helped Lin Xiao pack his things, 2 upper bunks and 2 lower bunks. Since they arrived early, they naturally occupied the 2 beds in the lower bunks. After cleaning up, Lin Xiao lay on the bed in the dormitory. There were still 2 days before the start of school. Do you want to go shopping in Kyoto these 2 days? If you stay at school all the time, it seems a bit boring. Sun Bin and Lin Xiao were not familiar with each other yet, and Lin Xiao's seniority was a bit too high, which made him somewhat restrained. Lin Xiao also saw this. Xiao-sun, don't be so restrained. I'm an easy person to get along with. Don't think of me as scary. Also, don't call me grandpa or call me old. Especially when there are outsiders, I'm relatively low-key. Sun Bin nodded quickly. He couldn't wish for this. After Lin Xiao gave him a space ring, his attitude towards Lin Xiao changed. He is not a pedantic person. If he barks a few more times, he can get more benefits. He doesn't mind a master like Duo Lin Xiao. Of course, it would be better if we didn't scream. After all, it's too awkward. Lin Xiao originally thought that the other 2 people in the dormitory might not come today, but who knew that not long after, the other 2 roommates arrived. The 2 should know each other, they came together. The 2 were stunned when they saw Sun Bin and Lin Xiao in the dormitory. They thought they had arrived early enough, but they didn't expect Sun Bin and Lin Xiao to arrive earlier than them. Lin Xiao looked at the 2 of them. One of them looked ordinary and slightly fat. He didn't look like anything special, but the smile on his face made people feel friendly and mysterious. The other one is much more dazzling. He is a rare handsome guy. He exudes a unique charm, and his handsome aura is irresistible. He had slightly messy hair, a trace of calmness, and a smirk on his lips, as if he didn't care about the world. There was a hint of cynicism in the corners of his eyes, but there was a profound light hidden inside. This was the first time that Lin Xiao felt that someone was threatening his appearance, and he almost caught up with him. Sun Bin was stunned for a moment when he saw the 2 of them. Why are you 2 beasts? Hearing Sun Bin's words, Lin Xiao was stunned for a moment. How do you know each other? Young master, I do know both of these two. That little fat guy is Hu Yu, the Prince of Beijing. Even though he looks kind, he is actually full of evil. His superpower is the SS Beast Transformation System, and the Beast Transformation type is Xuanwu. As for the other one, he is not a good guy either. Wen Jingxuan, a famous playboy in Kyoto, is a scumbag and has the ability to control SS-level gravity. Quote, Old son, you are hurting us like this. Although what you say is true, what kind of good guy are you? When did we fight with others in Kyoto without you? Lin Xiao finally figured out that these three guys knew each other, and they should be good buddies. When Jingxuan looked at Lin Xiao, he did not expect to find someone with similar looks to him in the dormitory. No, what did you call him, old son, just now? Young master, what kind of weird name is this? Lin Xiao also frowned. Didn't he tell Sun Bin not to call himself grandpa when there are outsiders? Sun Bin seemed to know what Lin Xiao was thinking and spoke first. Little master, don't think too much. The reason why I didn't hide your identity is not because I forgot your instructions, but because these two are not outsiders. Their elders are also members of the nursing home. Lin Xiao immediately became interested, and he immediately began to think about the old people named Hu and Wen in the nursing home. No, I know a few people with the surname Hu. There seems to be no one with the surname Wen in our nursing home. My dear sir, Lao Hu's great-grandfather is Senior Hu Chen. You should know him. There is no one with the surname Wen because Jingxuan's grandma is in a nursing home. She is Senior Shengguan Shi. Lin Xiao immediately understood why he couldn't find the old man named Wen. It turns out that you two are the descendants of brother Hu Chen and sister Shengguan, then I understand. Shengguan Shi and Lu Jiao are good sisters, and Lin Xiao has a lot of contact with her. As for Hu Chen, it seems that he was the previous president of the Kyoto Chamber of Commerce. When he left, why did he have any difficulty in finding the Kyoto Chamber of Commerce? Hu Yu and Wen Jingxuan were both stunned. Who was this guy in front of them? He actually knew their two elders. Even they had not seen those two seniors for a long time. Xiao Hu, like my grandson, you should call me grandpa. Xiao Wen, you are a little older, but you are also my grandson. Lin Xiao really didn't stop talking without surprising, and both Hu Yu and Wen Jingxuan felt like they were being taken advantage of. Hu Yu, opening parenthesis closing parenthesis. Wen Jingzan, Pan. Seeing that the two of them were about to explode, Sun Bin quickly stopped them. Although I really wanted to see these two guys dealt with by Lin Xiao, these two guys were also my best friends after all. It would be bad if they left a bad impression on Lin Xiao. You two calm down, the young master is not taking advantage of you, he is telling the truth. Sun Bin quickly explained the relationship between Lin Xiao and the nursing home. After knowing Lin Xiao's identity, Hu Yu and Wen Jingxuan also became quiet. The look he looked at Lin Xiao was also full of complexity. They knew how difficult it was to enter the Red Sun nursing home. Since Lin Xiao could stay there, he must be capable. Seeing the appearance of the two of them, Lin Xiao also felt a little funny. What, do you want me to contact brother Hu and sister Shengguan? When Lin Xiao said this, Hu Yu and Wen Jingxuan were immediately frightened. Those two are the real people in power in the family. If they knew that they were disrespectful, I'm afraid their life would be difficult. People have to bow their heads under the eaves, they are so scared. Little master, little grandpa, Lin Xiao, epsilon equals omicron backquote asterisk, alas. Why do these people like to add, small, in front of their names? You are so good, this is my meeting gift for you. Since they are all his own, Lin Xiao naturally cannot favor one over the other. He gave Sun Bin a space ring, and these two guys naturally had to give it to him. Hu Yu and Wen Jingxuan looked at the space ring that Lin Xiao threw to them casually, and they no longer knew what to say. Suddenly, I felt that it was not a bad thing to recognize such an elder. Little Tai, little grandpa, is awesome. And at this moment, Wen Jingxuan suddenly laughed. Ha ha ha, I suddenly realized that I am a generation older than you two. Please call me uncle and come listen. Sun Bin and Hu Yu's expressions immediately darkened. From Lin Xiao's side, they seemed to be a generation lower. But asking them to call them Uncle Wen Jingxuan is definitely impossible. The two looked at each other with a sinister smile. Beat him. Sun Bin and Hu Yu directly attacked Wen Jingxuan and greeted him directly in the face. You two don't have martial ethics. If you have the guts, let's challenge you to a duel. Don't slap me in the face. I still have to rely on this face to make a living. I'll fight you too, monkey stealing peaches. Comma. Looking at the three people fighting, Lin Xiao's face showed an ant's smile. Not to mention, he likes this atmosphere. When I stay with young people, my mentality seems to be much younger. The three of them fought for a while and then stopped. After all, Lin Xiao was still here, and they didn't dare to be too presumptuous. After all, Wen Jingxuan was no match for the two of them and was punished. Wen Jingxuan didn't dare to keep talking about it, otherwise the two guys would definitely continue to deal with him. Lin Xiao could feel that because he was here, they were still a little restrained. Okay, although I am older, we are all of the same age. Maybe I am younger than you. You can just call me brother outside. It is better not to expose my identity. Seeing Lin Xiao say this, the three of them breathed a sigh of relief. This grandpa seems to be very easy to get along with. Okay, little master, let's clean up first. Once we're done, I'll take you out for a walk. I'll pay for all the expenses today. As the Crown Prince of Beijing, Hu Yu was naturally qualified to say this. Lin Xiao had no objection. He wanted to go shopping anyway. Hu Yu and Wen Jingxuan started to make their own beds, and it didn't take long for them to finish it. Just as he was about to go out, Wen Jingxuan's cell phone rang. Looking at the caller ID, Wen Jingxuan had a strange expression on his face, but finally picked up the phone. Hey, Lily, didn't you say that? We have broken up and we should not contact each other in the future. We are not suitable. Why is it inappropriate? Tell me clearly. I have type B blood, and you also have type B blood. I'm afraid that our child will be type 2B in the future. Isn't this reason enough? That's it, hang up. After Wen Jingxuan finished speaking, he hung up the phone. Lin Xiao and the other three looked at Wen Jingxuan in shock. Is this guy's reason for breaking up with someone so weird? Just as he was about to say something, Wen Jingxuan's cell phone rang again. Wen Jingxuan was thick-skinned, but at this moment he was rarely blushing. After thinking for a while, he finally answered the phone. Yeah, didn't I tell you that my great-grandmother gave me a dream and said that we two are not suitable for each other? Please don't pester me again in the future. After saying that, Wen Jingxuan couldn't wait to hang up the phone. Perhaps he was afraid of another call coming in, so Wen Jingxuan silently chose to turn off the phone. Aha, little grandpa, don't get me wrong. We were in a spiritual love, and we broke up later when we found it wasn't suitable. It's just that they still covet my beauty and want to pester me. Hu Yu, trash. I'm not thinking about finding a new one when I get to college. Sun Bin, don't explain, it's not like we don't know about you being the king of the sea. Lin Xiao, bah, scumbag. Wen Jingxuan, *II. It's over. On the first day I met my little grandpa, my image was completely ruined. Ahem, don't care about these details. Don't talk about this. Let's go out and have fun. Lin Xiao didn't really care about this. Everyone had their own style of doing things. Whatever Wen Jingxuan did was his personal behavior and he would not interfere. Since school hasn't started yet, they won't encounter any obstacles when they go out. Along the way, we can see many new students coming to register one after another. The four of them acted together and attracted a lot of attention. Of course, more people's eyes are on Lin Xiao and Wen Jingxuan. Such two handsome guys act together, which makes many girls happy. Originally, Lin Xiao thought he was going to take a taxi, but when he saw Hu Yu and Wen Jingxuan driving a sports car, he knew he was superficial. The event was arranged by Hu Yu, so Lin Xiao no longer cared and just followed along. Hu Yu immediately took the three of them to a very famous restaurant in Kyoto. Lin Xiao had no objection. He happened to be a little hungry. This was a very high-end restaurant. Lin Xiao had some expectations at first, but when the food was actually served, Lin Xiao was disappointed. It's not that the food here is bad, it's that Lin Xiao's taste has been cultivated now. Compared with those at Songmingzi's, the food here is somewhat less interesting. Fortunately, there is no problem filling the stomach. I wonder how the food in Kyoto Ribu is like. If the taste is not good, you have to find a way to open a small stove for yourself. Hu Yu also noticed that Lin Xiao was somewhat uninterested. Since he was the one who asked Lin Xiao to come out, he couldn't let Lin Xiao lose his interest. Little master, is there anything you want to play or somewhere you want to go? I will arrange it and I will definitely satisfy you. Lin Xiao really didn't have anywhere in particular he wanted to go. Just look at the arrangements. I can do it. I'm not familiar with Kyoto. Hu Yu felt a little headache. Any answer, I'll do it, was the last thing he wanted to hear. You two, stop pretending to be dead and give us your opinion. Sun Bin waved his hand quickly. You two are better at eating, drinking and having fun, so don't ask me. Wen Jingxuan showed a lewd smile. How about we go to the club? I know there is a place where some good girls come. Get out. We are not like you. What are you thinking? I'm talking about a regular club, okay. Lin Xiao was noncommittal. He was really not interested in this. Wen Jingxuan was a little embarrassed. He just wanted to liven up the atmosphere and didn't really want to take Lin Xiao to the club. Well, I know there is an auction tonight. There are many treasures in it. How about we go and take a look? When Lin Xiao heard about the auction, he immediately became interested. It seemed like a good idea to go to the auction. Okay, let's go to the auction. Seeing that Lin Xiao agreed, the three of them breathed a sigh of relief. Okay, that's it. There's still some time until the auction. I'll get the tickets. After Hu Yu finished speaking, he made a phone call and asked someone to help him get tickets. After everything was arranged, Hu Yu looked at Lin Xiao. Little master, is there anything you want to buy? This auction is quite large. It started preheating a month ago. There seems to be a lot of good things in it. If you have something in mind, little master, just shoot it and I'll pay for it. As the Crown Prince of the Kyoto Chamber of Commerce, Hu Yu is qualified to say this. He was not a fool. He had already seen Lin Xiao's unusualness, and building a good relationship with Lin Xiao would be beneficial to him without any harm. Lin Xiao naturally has no objection to this. If someone pays for him, he will certainly not object. Although he has a little money now, compared with people like Hu Yu, it is still not enough. Ji Boxiao could throw himself a check for 5 million at any time, let alone a prince like Hu Yu. What treasures do you have? Tell me. There are still a lot of good things. I heard that this time there is a lot of spirit beast meat of level 7 or 8 and above, as well as some spirit beads and some treasures made by masters. In short, each piece is priceless. Lin Xiao was stunned. Is the meat of 7 or 8 level spiritual beasts considered a treasure? There are a lot of them in nursing homes. As for spirit beads, it might be difficult to find one that you can use. As for the treasures, I have a bunch of them in my space ring, and the level is not low. It seems that there may not be anything that I like in this auction. By the way, can I sell things at the auction? Of course, young master, are you planning to sell some treasures? Lin Xiao does have this idea. He has a lot of low-level pills and the like here. If the price is right, it's not impossible to sell it. Let's wait until we get there to decide whether we want to sell it or not. Chapter 89. Now that the decision has been made, several people have no choice to stay here. The four of them drove directly to the auction house. The auction location was not too far away from here, and it only took the four of them 10 minutes to arrive at the auction location. It was still some time before the auction started, but the venue was already crowded with people queuing up. It seems that the auction advertising this time was very good. Lin Xiao frowned. Judging from the situation at the scene, even if they queue up, it may take a while before their turn comes. As soon as the four of them got out of the car, someone gave Hu Yu tickets for the auction. Hu Yu looked at the ticket in his hand and smiled at Lin Xiao sheepishly. Brother Xiao, I'm sorry. The time is too short. The tickets for the box have been sold out for a long time. If I had known that you were coming to see me, I would have paid for the entire ticket for the box. There were many people here, so Hu Yu followed Lin Xiao's instructions and called him Brother Xiao. Lin Xiao felt it didn't matter. In such a short time, considering the popularity of the scene, it was not easy for Hu Yu to get 4 tickets. It's okay. Let's just go to the lobby. This auction seems to be very attractive. That's not true. This auction is held by Jubaolo, the largest auction house in the country. Every auction at Jubaolo is extremely popular. Treasure building. Lin Xiao frowned, feeling like he had heard this name before. Yes, it is Jubao Tower. Who is the owner of Jubao Tower? It is still a mystery to this day. I only know that the cultivation level is very high and the background is also great. At this moment, Lin Xiao finally remembered where he had heard this name. When he left the nursing home, the elderly people gave him many gifts, one of which seemed to be the supreme VIP card of Treasure House. It's just that there were too many gifts, and he didn't think of them just now. I don't know if this card will work here. At this moment, Lin Xiao discovered that several people entered the venue through the VIP channel, which surprised him. How did those people get in? Haven't they started entering yet? Brother Xiao, those are the VIPs of Jubao Tower. They have private rooms, so they can enter in advance. However, the VIPs of Jubao Tower are not easy to deal with. My dad is a gold member. If it weren't for the fact that my dad was not in Kyoto, how much would it be? I'll sort out the card too. Lin Xiao was stunned. Do you have a VIP card to enter in advance? Hu Yu is the prince of the Kyoto Chamber of Commerce, and his father is the president of the Kyoto Chamber of Commerce. Is this a gold member? If that's the case, isn't my supreme VIP card a higher level? This is good news for him. In fact, Lin Xiao didn't care whether he attended the auction in the lobby or in the private room. It was just that there were too many people queuing up outside the venue, and it seemed that it wasn't time to enter. Who knows when he would be able to enter? Come on, don't stand here stupidly, let's go to the VIP channel. Brother Xiao, you mean you have a membership card for Jubalo? I happen to have one on hand, can I take you in? Lin Xiao was indeed worried about this problem. If he could only go in alone, he would rather go in with 3 people and go in first. Who would pay for him later? No problem, as long as you are a member, you can bring a certain number of people into the venue. That's no problem. Although Hu Yu was surprised that Lin Xiao actually had a VIP card for Jubao Tower, when he thought of Lin Xiao's identity, it didn't seem to be a big surprise. At this time, the outside of the venue was crowded with people, but the VIP channel was empty. After all, not everyone is qualified to become a VIP of Jubalo. Lin Xiao followed the 3 people to the VIP channel. As he moved forward, he was surprised to find that Ji Boxiao and Lu Ruyan were also here. These 2 guys are really haunting. How can they be seen everywhere? Ji Boxiao and Lu Ruyan are indeed here. The reason why Ji Boxiao chose to come to Kyoto today is for this auction. Ruyan, do you know how difficult it is to get tickets for this auction? You may not be able to buy them even if you have money. It took me a long time to get 2 tickets. Lu Ruyan curled her lips secretly. It's just 2 tickets. What's there to brag about? She also saw that those who came to participate in the auction were either rich or noble. Maybe she could find some potential stocks here. Brother Boxiao is the best. By the way, Brother Boxiao, is there any treasure you like in this auction? I am now a 2nd level superpower. Although my family has prepared a 2nd level spiritual bead for me, I am not very satisfied with my spiritual skills. I want to see if I can find a better one here. It doesn't matter if I can't buy it. I'll just come here to broaden my horizons. I see, Brother Boxiao, if I have something I like, can I bid for it? Of course, but I have to do it within my means. As long as the price is not too outrageous, it's fine. I know that Brother Boxiao treats me the best. Hey, is that Lin Xiao over there? The commotion caused by Sun Bin and others finally attracted Lu Ruyan's attention. Not only her, many people looked in this direction. After all, there were not many people who could use the VIP channel. She saw Lin Xiao the first time. Ji Boxiao took a look and it was indeed Lin Xiao. Lin Xiao, why are you here? Is this the place you can come to? Lin Xiao was speechless. He knew that meeting these 2 guys would definitely not be a good thing. Before he could speak, Hu Yu and the other 2 were a little unhappy. Who are you? Why are you talking to our brother Xiao? Ji Boxiao frowned at Hu Yu and the other 2. He didn't know their identities and was afraid of offending someone he couldn't afford to offend. The 4 of them took the VIP channel, so they must be quite powerful. Seeing that Ji Boxiao didn't dare to reply, Lin Xiao sneered disdainfully. He really didn't take this guy seriously now. Okay, let's go in. Don't bother with this kind of person. Lin Xiao had already spoken, so Sun Bin and the other two naturally didn't dare to have any opinions. But when they left, the three of them glared at Ji Boxiao fiercely. Lu Ruyan's eyes were on Wen Jingxuan from beginning to end. She could tell at a glance that Wen Jingxuan and Hu Yu were not ordinary, and the clothes they wore were all high-end versions. Between the two, she was definitely more concerned about Wen Jingxuan, who looked more handsome. From now on, it seems that this is a fish worth keeping. The four of them soon came to the VIP channel of Jubao Building, and several strong men in suits stopped them directly. "Sir, this is the VIP channel. If you are a VIP here, please show your card." Lin Xiao knew that these people were just doing their job, so he didn't make things difficult for them. After rummaging around in his space ring, he quickly found the Supreme VIP card. When the bodyguard saw the VIP card, his pupils shrank suddenly. It turned out to be a Supreme VIP card. The bodyguard's attitude immediately became gentle, even flattering. "A few of you are young and blind, please come in." At this moment, Lin Xiao also suddenly remembered that although he had a Supreme VIP, he had not booked a box in advance. Judging from the popularity of the scene, he thought that all the boxes should be fully booked. "Sorry, I didn't reserve a private room in advance. If there is no private room, we can just go to the lobby directly. I just don't want to queue here, so I thought of going in early." "You don't have to worry about this. We always leave a few boxes for our customers here. You are a distinguished VIP, so there must be a place for you. Xiao Wang, please take these people over and go to box 0. Quote. "Okay, put it on me." Lin Xiao expressed his gratitude to several bodyguards. Apart from anything else, the service attitude was quite good. Compared with Lin Xiao's calmness, Hu Yu and others were very uncalm. It turned out to be the legendary box 0. The three of them had attended many auctions in the treasure house, but they had never seen any guests in box 0. Box 0 is definitely a status symbol, and you can't get in there only if you have money. They didn't expect that they would be able to enter the number 0 box this time. This alone would allow them to brag to their friends for a while. "Brother Xiao is so awesome. This time he got the advantage." The bodyguard named Xiao Wang led the way for several people, and after they left, the head bodyguard immediately called the person in charge of the auction. When the person in charge heard that a legendary VIP customer had appeared this time, he became uneasy. Although he is very busy now, he has decided to put down what he is doing and go see which master is coming to the auction in Treasure House. With Xiao Wang leading the way, everything became very simple, and the group went directly to the second floor of the auction. This was where the auction box was located. When he arrived, Xiao Wang turned around and left. A dedicated waiter was responsible for taking the two of them to box 0. I have to admit that the service at Jubaolo is quite good. The two waiters responsible for receiving them are both rare beauties. She has a hot body and is wearing a maid outfit. If he didn't know where this place was, Lin Xiao would have doubted whether he had come to some irregular place. After the two waiters knew that these were the guests in box 0, their attitudes were extremely respectful. They also put away some of their unrealistic thoughts. Such a distinguished guest was not something they could get involved with. Box 0 is the one with the best location in the entire box, that is, the one directly in front of the auction table. It has the best view here. Not only can you see all the auction items clearly, but you can also see the situation in the hall clearly. If you want to get to box 0, you have to pass by some other boxes. It was still some time before the auction started, and many people who came in early did not enter the box immediately. Everyone who can enter here is not a small person, most of them are acquaintances. So they were all chatting in the corridor. Maybe because of one conversation, they could complete a cooperation. This also means that if Lin Xiao and others want to enter the box, they must walk past them. Lin Xiao didn't feel anything was wrong, but he found that Wen Jingxuan carefully hid behind Sun Bin after entering here. "Jingxuan, what's wrong? Is there anyone here you're afraid of?" Before Wen Jingxuan opened his mouth, Sun Bin couldn't help but started to complain. "Brother Xiao, what else could it be because of? It must be because he met his ex-girlfriend." Lin Xiao understood, saying that this world is really small, and you can meet this guy's ex-girlfriend here. The sudden appearance of several people naturally attracted the attention of the people around them. Soon someone recognized Hu Yu and the others. These three boys were very famous in Kyoto. It would not be an exaggeration to call them the three evils of Kyoto. Sun Bin is known to like to fight, and his descendants have been beaten by this guy more or less. If it weren't for the Sun family's powerful power in Kyoto, and the fact that the whole family is famous for protecting calves, this would have been impossible. The boy has been dealt with 800 times. Hu Yu is one of the three evil strategists in Kyoto. He is full of bad intentions. Most people would rather provoke Sun Bin than Hu Yu, otherwise no one knows how this kid will come back with revenge. As for Wen Jingxuan, he was the weirdest one among them. He specifically chose female dolls to do this. The key was that all the female dolls in his family were fascinated by him, and they had nothing to do. Although Wen Jingxuan was hiding behind, he was still discovered. A woman with a figure as hot as a flame spoke first. Wen Jingxuan, you dare to break up with me, how dare you? I am the only one who dumps others, and you are the first one who dares to dump me. If you don't explain it to me clearly today, don't leave today. Before Wen Jingxuan had time to reply, another woman with a graceful and gentle face walked over. Brother Jingxuan, why did you break up with me? Is there something I did wrong? If I'm wrong, tell me and I can't change it. Before Lin Xiao had time to be surprised, several more women came over. Without exception, they all came to see Wen Jingxuan. Lin Xiao no longer knew what to say. These women had very different styles, but without exception, they were all beauties. Wen Jingxuan has actually been with so many people, he is indeed a scumbag. If he wasn't really not interested in women now, he would really want to ask Wen Jingxuan if he could publish a book. Wen Jingxuan was at a loss at this time. He didn't expect that he and Lin Xiao would meet so many ex-girlfriends just by attending an auction. When I went out today, I definitely didn't look at the almanac. The appearance of several women directly blocked the corridor, and Lin Xiao also felt a little headache. But Hu Yu is obviously experienced in dealing with this kind of thing. Beautiful ladies, if you have any grudges, just go to the rightful owner directly and don't block our way. Sun Bin also consciously distanced himself from Wen Jingxuan. Lin Xiao also felt that it would be better not to stay with Wen Jingxuan at this time. Wen Jingxuan, Nari summation degree co degree. I'm sorry, you are my brothers, okay. You can't leave me like this. Wen Jingxuan's ex-girlfriend group didn't care about Lin Xiao and others, they simply made way for the waiter to take Lin Xiao and others over. As for Wen Jingxuan, it was impossible to let him pass without explaining some things clearly. Lin Xiao gave Wen Jingxuan a wish for goodness look and walked towards the box. He also discovered that the people in those families did not stop the girls from going to Wen Jingxuan, and many people focused on him. Maybe he was guessing his identity, after all, he was a stranger to them. Lin Xiao ignored the looks of these people and entered box 0 under the guidance of two waiters. At this time, those watching the excitement at the door were not calm. Although the three pests of Kyoto don't have a very good reputation outside, they are still very capable. With their abilities, they were not surprised to be able to get a private room in the Jubao building. But the problem is that they entered box 0. This makes people think deeply. These three guys are not capable of entering the number 0 box. The problem may arise with that unknown young man. Thinking of this, many people's eyes became somewhat meaningful. Lin Xiao knew nothing about any of this. He didn't even know what box number 0 meant. After entering the box, Lin Xiao was shocked by the luxury of the box. Entering here is like entering a luxurious private world. The gorgeous decoration exudes a noble atmosphere, the soft sofas make people feel more comfortable, and the exquisite carpets cover the entire room. There was a faint scent of sandalwood in the room, and the auction house could be clearly seen from the glass of the box. The spacious auction hall is splendidly decorated, and bright lights illuminate every corner, adding a luxurious atmosphere to the entire venue. The three of them sat down on the sofa, and Lin Xiao waved to the two waiters. The two waiters also resigned wisely. Seeing that there were no outsiders here, Hu Yu's eyes began to shine. Little master, I really learned a lot this time. This turns out to be the legendary box 0. Isn't it just a box? Does it require such fuss? When Hu Yu saw Lin Xiao's appearance, he knew that Lin Xiao didn't know what this meant. He quickly gave Lin Xiao a brief explanation of the situation in box 0. Only then did Lin Xiao understand what this box meant. Thinking of the way those people looked at him when he came in, Lin Xiao also felt a little headache. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have been so high profile. Xiaohu, if anyone asks you, just say you brought us in. Hu Yu immediately understood. Don't worry, little master, I understand this. If you don't want to expose your identity, I know how to do it. Lin Xiao looked at Hu Yu with satisfaction. A boy can be taught. There was everything in the box, so the three of them didn't feel bored. After a while, Wen Jingxuan entered the box with a look of embarrassment. The clothes on his body were in a mess, and there were some lipstick marks on his face. Lin Xiao couldn't help but want to give Wen Jingxuan a thumbs up. It was a skill to have so many ex-girlfriends lingering over him. You two actually refused to save me. I must have misjudged you. Wen Jingxuan was really speechless at this time. The two guys actually left him like that, and he almost couldn't escape. He did not dare to cause trouble to Lin Xiao, so he could only vent his anger on Hu Yu and Sun Bin. Sun Bin clenched his fist and made a clicking sound. What? It seems that the lesson I taught you before was not enough. Wen Jingxuan shocked face carrot backquote oh. Grass. 1-on-2, I can't beat him, I'm scared. Lin Xiao didn't care about the three people's nonsense, he could see that the three people's relationship was really good. Just as he was about to say something, there was a knock on the door outside the box. Dong dong dong. Lin Xiao was a little surprised. Who came to them at this time? Could it be that the guys I met before saw them entering box 0 and wanted to find out more about themselves? After thinking about it, Lin Xiao decided to let people in. Enter. As Lin Xiao's voice fell, a man walked in. The man has an upright figure, wears neat and decent uniforms, carries himself elegantly, and exudes professionalism and confidence. His face was kind and solemn, and his eyes shone with wisdom. After the man entered the door, his eyes immediately fell on Lin Xiao. He knew the three evils of Kyoto. It was impossible for him to have the supreme VIP card of Jubao Tower. So the owner of this card could only be the one in front of him. An unknown boy. Hello, sir, I am Lu Hao, the person in charge of the Jubao auction. I wonder if, sir, could you show me your VIP card? Lu Hao's attitude was very good and he was from the auction. Lin Xiao had no reason to refuse and handed over his VIP card. He probably knew why he got the treatment he did now. The old man who gave him the card was also named Lu. Lu Hao took the card respectfully, and when he saw the number on it, the expression on his face became even more respectful. Sir, I wonder how you got this card. A gift from an old man. Lin Xiao said it easily, but Lu Hao's expression changed. He knew very well who the owner of this card was. Lin Xiao looked so young, but he called the owner of the card brother. This was very intriguing. Being able to be the person in charge of Jubao Tower is naturally a good person. He could tell from Lin Xiao's expression that Lin Xiao was not lying. He hurriedly handed back the card in his hand. Put the card away. No matter what you choose at the auction tonight, we can give you a 50% discount directly. Lin Xiao. Degree. Ness. Although Hu Yu had said that he would foot the bill, it was good to save some money. Although the items at the auction will be more or less expensive, if they are directly discounted by 50%, Lu Hao may still have to pay compensation. Although he knew this, he had no intention of being polite to Lu Hao. After all, it's not your own money you're losing. Okay, although I'm a little embarrassed, I'm not disrespectful. Sir, you're welcome. This is the discount you can enjoy. If you have any other instructions, I will be happy to help. If not, I will go down first. Lu Hao had no intention of continuing to be polite to Lin Xiao. He was so decisive that Lin Xiao gave Lu Hao a higher look. When you say that, I really need your help with something. Lu Hao was eager to get involved with Lin Xiao now. When he heard that Lin Xiao really needed help, he hurriedly spoke. As you command. It's not a big deal. I have some things here. I want to participate in this auction. Isn't it convenient? It's convenient and convenient. It's all a trivial matter, but can you show me the things that need to be auctioned, and I can help you evaluate them by the way. There's nothing very good, it's all rubbish. Lin Xiao said and started to get things outside, a few bottles of pills, and some treasures that Lin Xiao didn't like. When Lu Hao saw these things appearing out of thin air, he knew that Lin Xiao had a space ring in his hand, and he paid more attention to Lin Xiao's identity. Originally, he was a little disappointed when he heard that what Lin Xiao said to him was all rubbish. But when he saw those treasures, his eyes became a little uneasy. His good professionalism allowed him to suppress his surprise. First, he picked up a bottle of elixir, opened the bottle, and smelled it. Elementary level healing pill. And the quality is very high. Rejuvenation pill. After quickly identifying all these things, Lu Hao looked at Lin Xiao with a complicated expression. Is this the garbage you're talking about? Do you have any misunderstandings about garbage? If these were all rubbish, wouldn't most of the items in this auction be worse than rubbish? Seeing Lin Xiao's nonchalant look, Lu Hao had probably guessed that these things might not be unusual to Lin Xiao, otherwise he wouldn't have taken them out so casually. Sun Bin and the others didn't know much about the things Lin Xiao took out. However, from the tone of Lu Hao's appraisal, he could probably guess that these things may not be ordinary. Sir, we will help you auction these things, and we will definitely sell them at a price that satisfies you. Our treasure house will not take any commission. Lu Hao's words once again stunned Sun Bin and the others. It was said before that they would just break bones if they took pictures of things, but they didn't even get a commission from selling things. What on earth does their new roommate have to do with Jubaolo? Hu Yu had the most flexible mind. Thinking of Lin Xiao's identity, he probably already had a guess. The boss behind the Jubao building is probably also a member of the nursing home. After counting the items, Lu Hao left. At this time, guests in those halls have already entered the venue one after another, which means that the auction will start soon. Lu Hao wanted to stay by Lin Xiao's side to increase his presence, but if he didn't handle Lin Xiao's auction items well, he was afraid of leaving a bad impression on Lin Xiao. In the end, he only left a business card and left in a hurry. Lin Xiao looked at the people entering the venue one after another. Hu Yu sat next to Lin Xiao and introduced Lin Xiao to the people entering the venue he knew. Lin Xiao listened silently. This time the auction was attended by famous figures in Kyoto. Many of the people below are the chairmen of certain groups. But such people are not even qualified to enter the box. This gave Lin Xiao a deeper understanding of the situation in Kyoto. Hu Yu also introduced to Lin Xiao the situation of the boxes outside. Most of them were family members. Compared with the groups below, these are all families rooted in Kyoto, and their background is not comparable to those below. Lin Xiao finally understood how valuable the VIP card in his hand was. And I have a bunch of cards like this here. Although he didn't say it at the time, he was actually a little dissatisfied with these cards. Now it seems that his situation is too small. The hall quickly filled up, and looking around, there was no empty seat except for the 4 tickets Hu Yu got. Seeing the 4 empty seats, Lin Xiao looked at the sky speechlessly, saying why he didn't think of selling those 4 tickets just now. In that case, he could make a small profit. This Xiao Hu is serious, why is he so incapable of living? Among them, Lin Xiao naturally saw Ji Boxiao and Lu Ruyan. What made him feel helpless was that these 2 guys happened to be sitting under their box, which meant that Lin Xiao could see them as long as he raised his head to these 2 guys. Fortunately, the glass in the box is one way, and those outside can't see them. Otherwise, I don't know how Ji Boxiao would feel. As all the guests took their seats, the lights in the auction hall suddenly went out, and only the lights on the auction table were still on. Lu Hao walked up directly. Welcome everyone to the auction in our Jubao building. I hope that this time, everyone can get what they want. Now I announce that the auction has officially begun. Here's the first lot for our auction. Those who can participate in this auction are all people with status, and most of them know Lu Hao. Many people were surprised to see that Lu Hao was personally hosting the auction. Lu Hao has not personally hosted the recent auctions. This made many people aware of the unusual nature of this auction, which also made many people excited. For Lu Hao to pay so much attention to it, maybe there will be some rare treasures in this auction. The first auction item was quickly picked up by a woman wearing a cheongsam. It was a transparent jade bottle, and there was an elixir in the jade bottle. Everyone's eyes were focused on the elixir. Alchemists were a very rare profession in this world. Although some elixirs could often be seen on the market, the effects were not very good. At a top auction like Jubaolo, the first lot was an elixir. I guess this elixir was no ordinary elixir. Lin Xiao didn't think much about it. This was not the bottle he gave to Lu Hao. His own elixirs all came in bottles of 10. They might be consignment elixirs from others. Gentlemen and ladies, this is our first auction item today, the rejuvenation pill. After our appraisal, the quality of this rejuvenation pill is of the highest quality. I believe everyone knows the effect of the rejuvenation pill, which can save a life at a critical moment. Although there are some strong healers in reality, who can guarantee that every time he is injured, there will be a strong healer around him. So carrying such a pill can save your life at the critical moment. The top quality rejuvenation elixir has no starting price, and the price increase cannot be less than 10,000 yuan each time. Interested customers can make an offer. Quote, Lin Xiao never expected that the first auction item would be the elixir he gave to Lu Hao. The bottle had been changed, but Lin Xiao knew that the elixir was given to him by himself. Not just anyone can refine the top quality rejuvenation elixir. Lin Xiao also quickly understood why Lu Hao sold the rejuvenation pills separately. They all said that rare things are more valuable. If they were sold in bottles, people might ignore the effects of the rejuvenation pills. The rejuvenation pill was undoubtedly a good thing, and people quickly placed bids for it. Guest number 86 bids 500,000. The first customer's bid was 500,000, which made Lin Xiao's mouth curl up. It seems that I will make a lot of money today. 73 The customer offered 600,000 yuan. The bid for box number 5 is 1 million. The bid for box 3 is 1.1 million. Is there any higher price? The price was rising rapidly, and Lin Xiao's mouth became even more difficult to suppress. Although he didn't know how to make elixirs, he probably knew the cost of this rejuvenation pill. The cost of refining the elixir was actually not high, at most 10,000 yuan. This was a huge profit. Ah! Brother Song really loves himself. He has a lot of such elixirs in his space ring. Song Ming's shocked face carrot back quote, oh. Did I give it to you? That's up to you to grab it yourself. The price of the rejuvenation pill was finally fixed at 2.1 million, and the rejuvenation pill was sold in box number 6. Lin Xiao thought for a while and realized that box number 6 seemed to be the #1 mercenary group in Kyoto. These people dealt with spiritual beasts all the year round, and casualties were common. Buying some rejuvenation pills could indeed be a precaution. This is already a very high price, and Lin Xiao is very satisfied with the price anyway. Sun Bin and the other two looked at Lin Xiao expectantly. During this period, the three of them wanted to bid several times. But when they thought that the elixir belonged to Lin Xiao, they finally held back. They really want it too. Lin Xiao saw the thoughts of the three people. Okay, don't look at me like this. I still have a lot of these pills. I'll give you a bottle each of you later. Sun Bin and the other three were overjoyed. Sure enough, meeting the little grandpa as a lucky thing. Seeing the flattering looks on the three people's faces, Lin Xiao was helpless. He directly took out a few bottles of pills and threw them to the three of them, otherwise he would be really afraid that the three of them would do something extraordinary to him. The three people were given low-level elixirs. It was not that Lin Xiao was unwilling to part with them. It was the level of the three of them. Giving them high-level elixirs was just a waste. The auction continued, and the good things that might be the finale were all at the end. Lin Xiao was not interested in the things in the front. The card below is a medium-grade treasure, the wind boots. You can use the wind skill once a day to increase the speed by 30%. Interested friends can bid. The starting price is 500,000, and each increase cannot be less than 10,000. The grade of treasures is divided into 4 levels: low grade, medium grade, high grade and exquisite grade. This wind boot is a mid-grade treasure, which is relatively good among treasures. Lin Xiao looked down upon these things. The treasure on him was much stronger than this. After all, the strongest blacksmith in the country is also in their nursing home, and he is also a good blacksmith himself. Just because Lin Xiao doesn't want it doesn't mean that Sun Bin and the others don't want it. Sun Bin spoke immediately. 600,000. He is a beast-type white tiger, and although his speed is not slow, if he can get the wind boots to increase his speed by another 30%, it will undoubtedly be a huge improvement for him, so he is moved. If the price of this piece of equipment wasn't too outrageous, he wouldn't give it up. What surprised Sun Bin was that after he raised the price, the entire auction venue fell into silence. Those in the hall could hear it clearly. The sound came from Box 0. Box 0, which had always been empty, had a guest this time. It is definitely not cost-effective to offend the guests in Box 0 for a medium-grade treasure. The people in the other boxes had no intention of increasing the price, and they were not sure about Lin Xiao's identity now. Lu Hao was a little helpless. Although the wind boots were only a medium-grade treasure, their real value was at least 1.5 million. As soon as Sun Bin opened his mouth, no one dared to increase the price. However, he did not hesitate and quickly finalized the decision. Congratulations to the guest in Box 0 for winning the wind boots photo. Sun Bin didn't expect that he would take a picture of the wind boots as soon as he opened his mouth. Although his brain was a little weak, he also knew that the reason why he was able to get the photo at a low price was entirely because of the number 0 box. Haha, I got a middle-grade treasure for 600,000 yuan, and I'm making a lot of money. Hu Yu pouted. In fact, he was also interested in the blast boots, but he didn't expect that Sun Bin, a muscular man, would speak first. He couldn't argue with him. What's 600,000? It's 300,000. Don't forget, all our purchases today will be 50% off. Sun Bin was stunned for a moment. It was indeed true. Delightful. The hiccup caused little fuss and the auction went on. However, the guests downstairs will always focus on Box 0 from time to time. During this period, Ji Boxiao spent 2.3 million to buy a good second-level wind spirit bead, and also bought some gadgets for Lu Ruyan. Lin Xiao didn't care at all about this, and didn't even mean to raise the price for him. The three of Wen Jingxuan also bought some things while they were there. Maybe Box 0 was really intimidating. As long as they opened their mouths, everyone else would give up on their own initiative. Please give me the next item. This is a spiritual bead, shining with a faint blue light. Seeing another spiritual bead, many people became interested. Judging from the size of this spirit bead, it is a second-level spirit bead. Many of the big guys present did not need this level of spiritual beads, but if the spiritual beads had good powers, they would not mind buying them for their juniors at home. After Lu Hao saw this spirit bead, his eyes were a little complicated. This spirit bead has actually been auctioned several times, but all failed. Unexpectedly, it appeared again this time. This is a second-level spirit bead. It has very good spiritual skills. Unfortunately, it can only be used by awakened people who have awakened eye powers. It is a second-level spirit bead with clairvoyance skills. Interested customers can make an offer. The base price is 110,000. I know the price may be a bit high, but it is set by the seller, and I have no choice. Each increase cannot be less than 10,000. Lin Xiao, who had been doing nothing, suddenly sat up straight. He really didn't expect that this auction would give him such a surprise. He is now a level 2 superpower user, and he has never had a clue about the level 2 spirit beads. Unexpectedly, I encountered a spiritual bead that I could use at this auction. The spiritual skill is clairvoyance. Heart ka heart. Is it the perspective you imagined? That is a skill that thousands of men dream of. I don't want to talk about a girlfriend now, but who doesn't want to appreciate beautiful things? This spiritual bead is decided by oneself. Although Lin Xiao had already identified this spiritual bead, he did not take action immediately. He wanted to see if anyone wanted to compete with him for this spiritual bead. Facts have proved that Lin Xiao was overthinking. Although clairvoyance is indeed a good skill, if it cannot be used, it is just a decoration. Even if there are people with awakened eye powers in the family, they are all low-level powers. Not worth spending 1 million on them at all. Just when Lu Hao thought that this spiritual bead was going to be unsold again and was about to be announced, Lin Xiao finally spoke. 1 million and 1 million. If you don't want it, I will miss it. I feel like the money is well spent. Seeing that the price for box number 0 was raised again, no one raised the price. After all, they had no use for this spirit bead. Just when Lin Xiao thought he was sure to win, a voice rang out at an inappropriate time. 1 million and 1 million. The bidder was Ji Boxiao. When he saw this spirit bead, he guessed that Lin Xiao might be tempted. After all, this spirit bead was really suitable for Lin Xiao. So he waited for Lin Xiao to bid, and then became disgusted with Lin Xiao. Sure enough, Lin Xiao really made a bid. Therefore, he chose to raise the price in the first place. Hearing Ji Baxiao's increase in price, people around him began to talk, and their eyes also focused on Ji Baxiao. Who is this? Are you so fierce? How dare you raise the price with the person in box 0? I don't know him. Maybe he's from out of town. He got the tickets here somehow. Maybe he doesn't know what box 0 represents. Anyway, I admire this guy. Ji Baxiao naturally felt the eyes of the people around him looking at him. He didn't feel anything was wrong, but enjoyed it. He was born to be the center of attention. Lin Xiao was a little helpless. Ji Baxiao was really uncomfortable this time if he didn't feel disgusted. 1,111,000. 1.2 million. 1,201,000. Ji Baxiao was obviously a little over the top. Just as he was about to bid, he felt Lu Ruyan tugging at the corner of his clothes. He looked at Lu Ruyan impatiently. Ruyan, why are you pulling me? Can't you tell it's Lin Xiao's voice? Lu Ruyan was speechless and choked. You are such a conspicuous person, can you see the current situation clearly? I know everything you said, but didn't you realize that Lin Xiao's voice came from box 0? Ji Baxiao finally came to his senses at this time. Yes, Lin Xiao's voice did come from box 0. It's not that he doesn't know what box 0 represents. Suddenly I realized why everyone saw me so. He suddenly felt that he was really brave. No matter how much unwillingness he felt in his heart, Ji Baxiao did not dare to continue shouting. What he was afraid of was not Lin Xiao, but the other people who entered the box. Would he be an ordinary person who could enter box 0? Even if he was a pig, he could still imagine that the people with Lin Xiao were not something he could afford to offend. In the end, Lin Xiao bought the spirit bead for 1.21 million. Lin Xiao lowered his head and looked at Ji Baxiao below. This guy actually cost him an extra 200,000. Wrong. After discounts, it's 100,000. But even if it was 100,000, it still made him feel distressed. Suddenly I regretted not raising the price for this guy before. Forget it, if you set a price here, no one may dare to increase the price. You don't like those things. If you buy them, you don't know what to do with them. This is just a small episode, the auction continues, maybe the appetizers are almost served, and many good things appear later. The auction prices of many items exceeded 10 million, which made Lin Xiao lament that there were so many rich people. Thinking about the several part-time jobs he had held in the past, where he only earned 3,000 to 4,000 a month, he could only look at the sky speechlessly. During this period, a lot of his elixirs and treasures were also sold, and the prices were very satisfactory to him. At this moment, the door of box 0 was knocked again. Lin Xiao and the other 4 were a little surprised, but they still opened the door. Seeing that it was the service staff who had delivered the things they had auctioned before, Lin Xiao had to admit that Lu Hao knew how to handle things. Normally, these things would be given to them after the auction ended. Unexpectedly, Lu Hao would have them delivered now. After letting the service staff leave, Lin Xiao picked up the spirit bead. Sun Bin and the other 3 looked at Lin Xiao with some confusion. They actually didn't understand why Lin Xiao wanted to buy this spirit bead. Wen Jingxuan even looked like a pig brother. Little grandpa, although this clairvoyance is extremely exciting, if you can't absorb it, it's just a decoration. Why did you buy this spiritual bead? Lin Xiao touched his nose. Who told you that I can't absorb it? Only then did the 3 of them realize that yes, it seemed that until now, they still didn't know what Lin Xiao's superpower was. At that time, because of Lin Xiao's identity, they subconsciously ignored this issue. In addition, Lin Xiao was also a new student in Kyoto Lingwu, so they thought that Lin Xiao's power level would not be low. Little master, what is your superpower? The admission notice says it's SS level strength, but it's not. My real power is F level vision enhancement. Open side, F grade. Little master, I don't study well, don't lie to me. Lin Xiao knew why the 3 of them were so shocked. It was really hard to explain what happened to him. The best way is to shut them up with action. Okay, there's nothing here that makes me excited. I'll absorb the spirit beads first. If you see what you want, just ask for the price. Lin Xiao said he wanted to sit on the sofa, holding the 2nd level spirit bead in his hand, and started to absorb it. The second-level spirit bead still contains a lot of spiritual power. As soon as he absorbed the spirit bead, Lin Xiao felt that the spiritual power in his body had increased a lot. It didn't take him much time to absorb the second-level spirit beads. Lin Xiao quickly opened his eyes. His second-level spiritual skills were finally completed. Sun Bin and the other three did not pay attention to the auction, but all looked at Lin Xiao. That's perspective. What man wouldn't want to have such magical skills? Seeing Lin Xiao wake up, the three people immediately gathered around. Little grandpa, how do you feel? Try the effects of your new spiritual skills now. Lin Xiao also had this intention, and he turned on clairvoyance immediately. Because Wen Jingxuan was closest to his position, he subconsciously looked at Wen Jingxuan. When Lin Xiao came to his senses, he felt a little regretful. He said he wouldn't get corns after seeing something dirty, right? At this time, a faint blue light appeared in Lin Xiao's eyes. When Wen Jingxuan saw Lin Xiao looking at him, he subconsciously covered his crotch with one hand and his chest with the other. Little grandpa, don't test the waters with me. Lin Xiao, oh, you think I do? I just couldn't control it. Fortunately, Lin Xiao didn't see anything he didn't want to see. X-ray vision was not something he imagined that could erase people's clothes, but like X-rays, it could see through the essence of things. Wen Jingxuan was displayed in front of him like a diagram of bones and meridians. Although it is different from what I imagined, it is generally quite practical. When you return to the nursing home, you can use this magical skill to check the health of the elderly. Okay, don't cover it up. It's not what you think. I won't see your privacy. Lin Xiao briefly explained the effects of perspective, and Wen Jingxuan felt relieved. At this time, Lin Xiao also discovered another function of perspective. Behind Wen Jingxuan was the wall of the box. With his perspective, he could see a figure in the box next door through the wall. There was only one person in the next box, and judging from the silhouette, it was a woman. She has an extremely hot body, big breasts, perky butt, small waist, and slender legs, which is perfect. Although Lin Xiao couldn't see the other person's face and didn't know her age, for some reason, he felt that she was a beautiful woman. After turning off the perspective, Lin Xiao also felt a little funny. Why did he have such thoughts? Even if there is really a beautiful woman in the box next door, what does it have to do with him? His attention returned to the auction, and the item being auctioned at this time was another spiritual pearl. As you all have seen, the auction item this time is still a spiritual bead. This is a 4th level light-based spiritual bead. It comes with the spiritual skill Light Judgment. I don't think I need to say more about the rarity of light-based spiritual beasts. The base price is 5 million, interested friends can increase the price. Quote. When Lu Hao's voice fell, many people present couldn't help but get excited. Light system users are already rare, not to mention level 4 light system beads. There are even fewer people who really need these spiritual beads. But just because it's not used doesn't mean that no one wants to buy it. If you can buy this spirit bead, it means that you will probably recruit a strong person in the light system in the future. The price was soon raised to 7 million, with no intention of stopping. While Lin Xiao was eating melon in silence, a voice came from the number 1 box next door. The voice was like the sound of nature, delicate and sweet, and people couldn't help but immerse themselves in it. But for some reason, it felt a little timid. 2.10 million. The scene fell into silence again. Is there anyone in box 1 this time? Although it is not as good as box 0, the owner of box 1 has an unusual status. And the price suddenly increased by 13 million, it can already be seen that the other party is bound to win. Many people are considering whether to continue to increase prices. A trace of confusion flashed in Lin Xiao's eyes, just 3 short words, but they seemed to pluck his heartstrings. He felt like his ears were getting pregnant. He originally felt that he would no longer be tempted, but just hearing the other party's voice made him a little shaken. Oops, it's a heart-pounding feeling. The price of 20 million was already very high, but I don't know if the attraction of the light spiritual beads was too great, so someone finally made a bid. The bid for box number 5 is 20.1 million. The bid for box 1 is 30 million. Although the woman in box number 1 sounded timid, she was unambiguous about the price increase. This was just a small amount, but she immediately added nearly 10 million. This time the scene fell silent again. In the end, the spirit bead was photographed by the woman in box 1. Lin Xiao was a little shocked by the wealth of box 1. Box 1 was right next to him, so the exquisite figure he saw just now was probably the owner of box 1. What should I do if I suddenly have a strong curiosity about the young lady next to me? Please support me. He even had the urge to go to box 1 next door to see what the owner of the voice looked like. Fortunately, Lin Xiao's reason finally prevailed, and it was better for him to stay away from things like women for the time being. With this thought in his mind, he couldn't help but look at Hu Yu standing aside. When Hu Yu introduced it before, he didn't seem to mention the situation in box 1. Xiao Yuzi, who is the owner of box 1? Hu Yu scratched his head. I don't know either. I didn't see the owner of box 1 before. Either he entered before us, or he arrived after we entered the box. Lin Xiao was a little disappointed, but it was nothing. His attention returned to the auction. At this time, the auction is coming to an end, and the prices of the auction items are getting higher and higher. The auction items are very diverse, including some antiques and rare treasures, but most of them can be used by awakened people. Several corpses of level 8 spirit beasts were auctioned, and these corpses were also auctioned for millions of dollars. This made Lin Xiao feel incredible. Are the corpses of these spiritual beasts so expensive? There are still many corpses of high-level spiritual beasts in his space ring. Now that I think about it, I realize how high the cost of living in a nursing home is. At that time, I only spent 5 million to successfully move in. It was a great deal. The prices for the items behind are very high, and there are even 9th-level spiritual beads among them. Lin Xiao also felt what it meant to be wealthy. That 9th-level spirit bead was finally sold for 3 billion. This made Lin Xiao, who felt that he now had some small money, realize that he was still far from enough. Lin Xiao did not buy any more items, nor did the other 3. It's not because those things are not attractive, but because of their level, they don't have any use for those things. This auction ends here. Thank you all again for participating in this auction. I wish you all a happy life. As Lu Hao's voice fell, the auction ended here. The auction has ended, and there is no point in staying here anymore. Of course, Lin Xiao was not in a hurry to leave. After all, he had sold a lot of things and the money had not yet arrived. Not sure if his subconscious was at work, Lin Xiao once again used clairvoyance to look at box 1 next door and found that the woman was already preparing to leave. Lin Xiao stood up directly. He still wanted to see what kind of woman the other party was. At this moment, he felt unexpectedly nervous. Seeing that the woman in box 1 had opened the door, he immediately prepared to go out. As soon as he opened the door, he saw Lu Hao appearing at his door. Sir, I'm here to give you the harvest from this auction. Lin Xiao's mind was now full of that figure, and he couldn't get it away no matter what. Wait a minute. Lin Xiao walked out of the box and looked at the position over there in box 1. At this time, the woman in box 1 had already walked out of the box and had reached the corner of the corridor. Lin Xiao just glanced at her back, and she disappeared before his eyes. At this moment, Lin Xiao wanted to chase him very much, but in the end he stopped. What happened to yourself? Maybe after today, there will be no chance to meet again. I must be crazy. After shaking his head with a wry smile, Lin Xiao turned around and returned to the box. Why are you thinking so much? Just look at how much money you made today. Seeing Lin Xiao go and come back, Lu Hao was also a little confused. He reacted quickly and handed a card to Lin Xiao. Sir, the total auction value of the items you consigned for this auction is 585 million. After deducting the 35 million spent this time, there is still 550 million left, all on this card. Quote. Lin Xiao. N-ary summation, degree co-degree. Did you hear it correctly? Did you actually sell so many of them? Although Lin Xiao had long been prepared to become rich suddenly, he never expected to sell so much money at once. Get rich. Get rich. After the auction started, Lin Xiao paid attention to the prices of his items. The price of each item was not too low, but he really didn't notice that the total value was so high. This can't be blamed on Lin Xiao, the things he took out were all low level. The price of each piece is between 1 million and 5 million, but the quantity is too large. Especially those elixirs, which were sold separately by Lu Hao. This selling method of boiling frogs in warm water made the price of each elixir highly premium. Lin Xiao resisted the trembling of his hands and took the card from Lu Hao's hand. Okay, thank you for your hard work. You're welcome, sir. Is there anything else I can do for you? After hearing Lu Hao's words, the figure of the woman in box 1 appeared again in Lin Xiao's mind. Do you know who the owner of box 1 is? Lu Hao probably didn't expect that Lin Xiao would ask him this. I'm sorry, sir, we at Jubao Tower will not deliberately inquire about customers' information, and I don't know the identity of the other party. Lu Hao didn't lie. He did not know the identity of the owner of box 1. Lin Xiao was a little disappointed, but understandable. Lu Hao did this without any problem. After meeting him, Lu Hao just asked where his VIP card came from, and did not ask about his identity. It's okay, I'm just curious. Thank you for your understanding. Although I don't know the identity of the other party, I can tell you that the other party is using the VIP card of the Embrand Group. He may be from there. Who you? Embrand Group. Embrand Group of the richest man in China. That's right. Although Hu Yu is the prince of the Kyoto business district, if he is really rich, his family is far from the Daihao Group. After all, one is only doing well in Kyoto, while the Embrand Group is enjoying success all over the country. Lin Xiao understood. No wonder the other party was so rich, it turned out to be from the Embrand Group. I see, thank you very much. Sir, you are very polite. Please give me a nice word when you see him again. Lin Xiao knew who the other party was talking about and did not refuse. Including the discounts on the items in this auction and whether or not I received my 10% commission, I almost saved myself 100 million. You can still do it by saying something nice. No problem. Lu Hao was overjoyed. Lin Xiao's words made all his efforts worth it. Now that we have all the money, there is no need to stay here anymore. Because we used the VIP channel, there was no crowding. Hu Yu looked at Lin Xiao and felt a little embarrassed. It was originally said that he would pay for this purchase, but in the end, Lu Hao actually made the decision without authorization and deducted all the money they spent on the items from the auction proceeds. Although Lin Xiao didn't say anything, he couldn't get over the hurdle in his heart. Brother Xiao, I promised to pay the bill this time, but I didn't expect that it was you who paid for it in the end. I will transfer the money to you now. Lin Xiao also reacted at this time. I wipe it. I made so much money all at once that I forgot about it. That's 35 million. But in the end, Lin Xiao still rejected Hu Yu. Although he loved money, he made so much money today that it really couldn't be justified if he didn't express it. Of course, the main reason is that the three in front of me are the descendants of the elderly in the nursing home. As an elder, there is nothing wrong with buying something for the younger generation, right? Although I think so in my heart, it is impossible not to feel distressed. Lin Xiao felt so distressed that he couldn't breathe. The original joy of getting a large amount of money was diluted a lot. At this moment, Lin Xiao, who was leaving the venue, saw Ji Boxiao and Lu Ruyan again. Lin Xiao was speechless. What was going on with these two guys? Don't you know that you are feeling uncomfortable now? Don't you know how to hide yourself a little? When Ji Boxiao saw Lin Xiao, a trace of disgust flashed in his eyes. Although he knew that he might not be able to offend the people next to Lin Xiao, when he saw Lin Xiao, he couldn't help but want to make some mocking remarks. Friends, this guy is a liar. Although I don't know how you know him, I still hope you can see the true face of this guy as soon as possible. This time, before Lin Xiao could speak, Hu Yu and the others became angry. They also know Ji Boxiao now. When Ji Boxiao and Lin Xiao raised their prices before, they could see clearly in the box. They haven't started trouble yet, but this guy dares to sow discord between them and Lin Xiao. How could they not know whether Lin Xiao was a liar? Can a liar directly give them so many elixirs? Can the scammer settle the bill from this auction directly to them? If I don't deal with you today, I really think they call them the three pests of Kyoto for nothing. Who are you? Do you dare to name me? I promise not to beat you to death. Who are you? You're talking to our eldest brother like this, and you're teaching me how to do things. What nonsense, just beat him. The three of them tried to deal with Ji Boxiao, but Ji Boxiao was frightened. He didn't expect that his kind reminder would actually light these three firecrackers. The key is that he feels that these three are existences that he cannot afford to offend. Even if he is beaten, he cannot resist. Lin Xiao actually didn't mind the three of them trying to deal with Ji Boxiao, but when he saw so many people watching around him, he still stopped the three of them. Okay, you three just calm down and beat this guy without worrying about getting your hands dirty. Lin Xiao had spoken, so the three of them naturally didn't dare not listen. However, everyone's eyes were still fixed on Ji Boxiao. If eyes could kill, Ji Boxiao would have been cut to pieces long ago. Although Lin Xiao stopped the three of them, this did not mean that he decided to let Ji Boxiao go. It is said that it is never too late for a gentleman to take revenge. But he is not a gentleman. He will avenge himself on the spot. Lin Xiao came directly to Ji Boxiao and patted him on the shoulder. Ji Boxiao, I warn you, don't show your presence in front of me. Forget it this time. If I see you jumping in front of me next time, I don't recommend letting you know why the flowers are so red. Ji Boxiao had been prepared to be beaten before, but he didn't expect that it was Lin Xiao who helped him out in the end. Of course, he would not be grateful to Lin Xiao. Instead, he believed that Lin Xiao was the culprit of all this. Seeing Lin Xiao walking towards him, his heart was in his throat. He had seen Lin Xiao's combat prowess during the assessment in the secret realm. Although he is now a second-level powerhouse, at this distance, he is definitely no match for Lin Xiao. The most important thing is that the three next to him are still looking at him eagerly. If you dare to make any move, we will kill you. Fortunately, Lin Xiao just patted him on the shoulder. Lin Xiao's words deeply stimulated his self-esteem. He wanted to say a few words but didn't dare. I can only endure this humiliation silently. Lin Xiao, pray, don't fall into my hands, otherwise your life will be worse than death. Seeing Ji Boxiao who dared to be angry but dared not speak, Lin Xiao also felt very bored. He said hello to Hu Yu and the others and left together. Ji Boxiao looked at Lin Xiao's back resentfully, and in the end could only be helpless and furious. No, this anger needs to be vented, otherwise I will definitely hold it back. Looking at Lu Ruyan, who had been silent beside him, he knew how to vent. Ruyan, let's go. Lu Ruyan looked at the back of Lin Xiao and the others in a daze, wondering why she hadn't noticed that Lin Xiao was so masculine before. When she heard Ji Boxiao calling her, she came back to her senses and quickly changed her face. Brother Bo Xiao, don't be angry. If you get angry with this kind of person, you will be in trouble. Seeing Lu Ruyan's pretentious look, Ji Boxiao felt that the desire in his heart was getting stronger. Haha, if I weren't worried about the identities of the three people around Lin Xiao, do you think I would let him go like this? This auction has yielded a lot of rewards, and it has greatly improved my strength. If I don't talk about this, I won't go back to school today. Find a place to rest. Lu Ruyan naturally knew why Ji Boxiao said this, and she did not object. How good is my brother? By the way, can you give me those things you bought for me before? Sure. After Ji Boxiao finished speaking, he touched his pocket, and his expression quickly became strange. His pockets were now empty, and all the auction items were gone. The spirit bead he obtained from the auction and some other auction items were gone. That's all. His car keys, cell phone, and wallet are all gone. Seeing Ji Boxiao's busy appearance, Lu Ruyan's eyes flashed with disdain. What to pretend? This guy doesn't want to have for nothing, does he? Brother Bo Xiao, what's wrong? My spirit beads and the things I bought for you are gone. Lu Ruyan also discovered that Ji Boxiao didn't look like he was faking it. How is that possible? Weren't they all there just now? Look for them again. At this time, Lin Xiao had already got into Hu Yu's luxury car, and he was inspecting the harvest. Naturally, he would not approach Ji Boxiao for no reason. He wanted to stay away from that guy. The reason why he approached Ji Boxiao was to steal from this guy. Ji Boxiao also bought nearly tens of millions of items at the auction this time, and now they are all his own. As for those car keys, mobile phones, etc., he had no use keeping them. He had already thrown them into the trash can nearby. Who told this kid to mess with him? Fight with me. I have a million ways to kill you. The auction lasted for several hours, and it was already 10 o'clock in the evening. Unlike small cities like Zuncheng, Kyoto was still brightly lit at this time, and the real nightlife had just begun. I don't know if Hu Yu felt a little guilty that he didn't spend any money, so he took Lin Xiao out for a big meal. Lin Xiao didn't object. If the big dog doesn't eat, he won't get it for free. During this period, Hu Yu and the others tried to persuade Lin Xiao to drink several times, but Lin Xiao refused. It is impossible to drink alcohol again in this life. After eating, it was already very late. Although Lin Xiao did not drink, the other three drank a lot. They would not do such a thing as drunk driving. Although Lin Xiao could drive, he couldn't drive 2 cars back at the same time, so Hu Yu directly found a 5-star hotel nearby and stayed in it. The 4 of them lived a very happy life, but Ji Boxiao was miserable. Being penniless and having lost his car keys and mobile phone, he almost ended up sleeping on the street. If Lu Ruyan didn't still have some money in his hand, they might really have to live in the park. Of course, after this incident, Ji Boxiao had no interest in opening a room with Lu Ruyan. He just wants to get back the things he lost, but how did he lose those things? It was not that he had never suspected Lin Xiao, but Lin Xiao just patted him on the shoulder, and there were so many people around at that time. He must have been spotted when he was leaving the venue. Don't let him know who did it, otherwise it won't make him look good. Lin Xiao. Not. Haha, if I could be discovered by you, wouldn't my studies in the nursing home be in vain? In the next 2 days, none of the 4 returned to school, and the 3 of them took Lin Xiao around Kyoto. Lin Xiao didn't have anything to do. He thought he was in Kyoto anyway, so if he didn't have some fun, he would feel sorry for himself. And that night, they were finally willing to go back to school. It's not because I've had enough fun, it's mainly because school starts tomorrow, and the counselor has a class meeting tonight, so it's time to go back. Lin Xiao entered Lingwu in Kyoto on short notice by the elderly in the nursing home. In fact, he had no idea what he was about to face. Recently, during a chat with Sun Bin and the other 3, I found out that he was assigned to the best class in Kyoto Lingwu. This class is arguably the best of the freshman class. The entry-level requirement for this class is that the power must be SS level. There are a total of 40 people in the class, which means that this class of Kyoto Ribu has 40 geniuses above the SS level. You must know that Shen Yao is only an SS level person in Zuncheng. I learned from Zhou Ji that Shen Yao did not come to Kyoto, but went to the Demon City. Correct, Zhou Ji. I've been just having fun these days, and I've forgotten about this good brother of mine. You deserve to die. Forget it, let's make it up to this kid later. But this also shows how difficult it is to put together such a class. At this time, Lin Xiao finally understood why his superpower was apparently SS level power. Love is to get yourself into this top class. When the 4 of them returned to Kyoto Lingwu, it was already late, and there was not much time left before the class meeting started. Therefore, the 4 of them did not choose to go back to the class, but went directly to the class. Because it was getting late, many students in the class had already arrived. The appearance of the 4 people naturally attracted the attention of most people. Soon the girls in the class had a collective orgasm. I didn't expect that there was such a handsome guy in the class. Hu Yu was automatically ignored. Although Sun Bin was not very handsome, his tendons were also unique in style. Many girls also liked this style. Of course, more people's attention is still on Wen Jingxuan and Lin Xiao. What kind of divine looks are these? The key is that the 2 of them have different styles. Wen Jingxuan is the ruffian and handsome type, while Lin Xiao is more like a sunny boy. Woohoo, I thought the boy who hadn't made me in the class had no longer my heart. I didn't expect 2 to come, I want their contact information. Draw the sword. Sister, there is no way I will let you. They say beauty is delicious. I thought it was a lie at first, but now I believe it. I'm full. Being handsome is also delicious. I like that handsome guy, his bohemian expression, I love him. I prefer that sunny boy. You can tell he will love you at the first glance. Only fools make choices. I want them all. Hey, that fat guy, you're blocking our view. Hu Yu shocked face Oh. I thank you. Lin Xiao didn't care what these people thought, the 4 of them directly found the seats at the back and sat down. As soon as Wen Jingxuan sat down, he started looking around. Tisk, 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 I have to say, there are still many beauties in the class. You really can't change your habit of eating shit. You're looking for a new target so quickly. TCH, the rabbit won't eat the grass next to the nest. I'm a person who cares about my heart but not my heart. If I get into trouble with someone in the class, I'm afraid there will be no rest in the future. Lin Xiao had known Wen Jingxuan for the shortest time, but based on Wen Jingxuan's performance in the past 2 days, he felt that there was nothing wrong with what Wen Jingxuan said. With this guy's character of always giving up, if he really falls in love with a girl in the class, he may really have no rest. Wen Jingxuan was right when he said that there were indeed many beauties in the class, but Lin Xiao was indifferent to them. For some reason, the back of the woman in box number 1 of the auction appeared in his mind again. Lin Xiao smiled bitterly. He must be in a daze. Not long after the 4 of them sat down, a figure walked into the class again. Everyone looked over unconsciously, and Lin Xiao was no exception. When he saw that figure, Lin Xiao was stunned. Not only Lin Xiao, but the entire class was silent. At that moment, it was so quiet that you couldn't even hear breathing. It was a woman. Her face was like a finely crafted work of art, her skin was as fine as snow and as delicate as silk. The eyebrows are like distant daisy, gently outlining a graceful arc, and the eyes are like autumn water, containing a deep and charming light. The bridge of her nose was straight, and her red lips were slightly red. Perhaps because she felt everyone's gaze, she bit her lips gently, and her face was unconsciously stained with a charming blush. The woman's clothes wrapped herself tightly, but it still couldn't cover her perfect figure. Especially those legs, they really last longer than some people's lives. The woman looked at her seat in the class and quickly found a deserted corner to sit down. After the woman sat down, everyone in the class seemed to remember to breathe. Even so, no one made any comments about the woman, as if any description in any language was blasphemous to the woman. Lin Xiao stared blankly at the figure. At this time, the image of the woman perfectly overlapped with the figure in box 1. I really didn't expect to see her so soon. The crowd looked for him thousands of times, but suddenly looking back, that person was his classmate. Although the woman was sitting in the corner, many people in the class still glanced over there unconsciously. Lin Xiao is also one of them. Unlike the others, who are more or less reserved, Lin Xiao is open and above board. Wen Jingxuan also looked obsessed at this time. Oh my god, what kind of divine appearance is this? This is the first time I feel inferior in front of a girl. Didn't I just say that rabbits don't eat grass near their nests? Why are you so excited now? Aren't you moved? Who you stopped talking? If he didn't feel anything at all, it must be a lie. Not everyone in the class was peeking at the woman. A few were stunned for a moment when they saw the woman. After reacting, they sat upright. Their anomaly quickly attracted some people's attention. What's going on? You guys are pretending to be gentlemen. You don't think that such a clumsy method will attract her attention, do you? It's just that when you were in the dormitory, you played very wildly. Why are you pretending to be a big-tailed wolf at this time? After hearing the comments from the people around them, those people knew that it was impossible not to explain. What do you know? It's normal that you don't know her. After all, she was in Jinling before, and we are also from Jinling. Do you know who she is? That's the witch Luo Yao. After knowing the woman's identity, many people gasped. This seemingly shy woman turned out to be the legendary witch. Luo Yao can be said to be a legend in the new generation of Lingwu in Kyoto. It was the first time in so many years that he became a new student in Kyoto Lingwu as a 4th-level strongman. However, most students have only heard of this name, and this is the first time they have seen it in person. Think about it, Luo Yao was born with 2 elements, SSS level light and dark elements. With such conditions, he must enter this so-called top class. Many people have been discussing Luo Yao's situation before, and now they finally see the real owner. Luo Yao's appearance is indeed impeccable, and she deserves to be the top 10 school beauties. But when they think of the legendary situation of Luo Yao, many people dare not look at Luo Yao anymore. Just kidding, those are level 4 experts, they don't want to be punished. Lin Xiao and the others were a little surprised that this woman turned out to be the legendary Luo Yao. Wen Jingxuan couldn't help but shudder. I just had a crush on the legendary witch. I'm really tired of living. +1. Fortunately, you held back just now and didn't do anything out of the ordinary, otherwise you might have been lying on the ground now. Lin Xiao listened to the three people's discussion and became even more interested in Luo Yao. What he knew about Luo Yao was limited to what those people in the car talked about when he arrived, and he was eager to know more now. Judging from the situation of Sun Bin and the other three, he should know more than he does. You three, tell me about Luo Yao's situation. The three of them looked at Lin Xiao in disbelief when they asked this question. Little brother Xiao, don't you know Luo Yao? Lin Xiao was speechless. Why, he must know. You know a little bit. When I came here, I heard someone say something in the car that the fourth level is born with dual elements, or the SSS level is the light element and the dark element. It seems that there is a dual personality. I don't know the other ones. I don't think there's anything wrong. Why do you look so afraid of her? Brother Xiao, you don't know how many people have been deceived by her appearance. Well, I can't say that they have been deceived. Like her superpower, she has two personalities. The one she is showing now may be the main one, shy. She is shy, but she also has another personality, which is unreasonable and cruel. I heard that anyone who dared to pursue her before was basically punished. I advise you to stay away from her. Quote. Lin Xiao didn't care about Wen Jingxuan's dissuasion. After knowing Luo Yao's identity, most people no longer dared to look at Luo Yao. Even if he looks at it, he only pretends to take a casual glance. This Luo Yao is really notorious. Unlike others, even when chatting with Sun Bin and the other two, his eyes never left Luo Yao. Thinking of what Lu Hao told him after the auction, he suddenly remembered that the helmsman of Daihao Group seemed to be surnamed Luo. This makes people think deeply. Luo Yao's identity is probably not simple. Interesting. Seeing that Lin Xiao was unmoved, Wen Jingxuan was also a little helpless. Seeing that Lin Xiao was so good to them, it felt necessary to persuade Lin Xiao. Brother Xiao, I know you may be very strong, but you are only a second-level psychic now. If you really annoy her, you may not be her opponent. Don't worry, I know my limits. Seeing that Lin Xiao was still unmoved after saying this, Wen Jingxuan had no choice. The corner where Luo Yao was actually not far from Lin Xiao. After feeling that there were fewer eyes focused on her, Luo Yao obviously felt a lot more comfortable, and the blush on her face faded a lot. It seems that everyone already knows her identity. She was helpless about this. Although she was a little shy, she still hoped to have some friends. But every time another self appeared, she would drive away those who tried to get close to her. She could do nothing about it. After all, strictly speaking, the other one was also herself. And this time seemed a little different. Why did she feel that there was a gaze that seemed more eager? Soon she found the source of the gaze, which was the handsome man not far from her. When looking at Lin Xiao, their eyes inevitably met. Feeling Luo Yao's gaze, Lin Xiao immediately smiled at her. Luo Yao immediately looked away, and her pretty face turned red again. Is it so cute? At this moment, Lin Xiao suddenly felt a weak spiritual power fluctuation on Lu Yao's body, and the blush on her face faded instantly. Luo Yao turned her face to Lin Xiao again. Although it was still the same face, Lin Xiao felt that Luo Yao's momentum had changed. What are you looking at? If you look again, I'll dig out your eyes. Lin Xiao looked at the woman in front of him in astonishment. The speed of her changing face was too fast. She really changed into a different person in an instant. Is this Luo Yao's other personality? As soon as Luo Yao spoke, Lin Xiao confirmed that Luo Yao was the woman in box 1. But now her voice was not as timid as before, but a little colder. Lin Xiao would naturally not be scared by Luo Yao. Seeing Luo Yao's angry look, Lin Xiao's heart couldn't help but beat violently twice. Beautiful things always make people unable to help but appreciate them. Hearing the conversation between the two, everyone looked at Lin Xiao in shock. This classmate is really fierce. Luo Yao has brought out her second personality, and he dared to tease her. Maybe Lin Xiao's performance was beyond Luo Yao's expectations. She was stunned for a moment, and soon clenched her fists, ready to deal with Lin Xiao. At this moment, an old man with gray hair walked into the classroom. If I guessed correctly, this should be their counselor. Seeing the old man, Luo Yao could only temporarily suppress her anger, and showed a ferocious expression to Lin Xiao, and made a gesture of wiping her neck. What she didn't know was that such a gesture, coupled with a pair of small canine teeth, was so cute in Lin Xiao's eyes. Angel's face, devil's figure, changeable personality. Oh my god, what should I do if I love him more? Lin Xiao didn't know what was wrong with him. Before meeting Luo Yao, he had never seen beautiful women, but none of them made his heart flutter. He also always believed that women would only affect the speed at which he drew his sword. But all this changed after meeting Luo Yao. At the auction, her heart skipped a beat just by hearing Luo Yao's voice, and she couldn't forget Luo Yao's silhouette and back. I originally thought that I was overthinking it, and that I might never have the chance to meet him again. Who knew that only 2 days had passed before he met Luo Yao again, and Luo Yao was still his classmate. This is fate. Of course, Lin Xiao hasn't thought about pursuing Luo Yao now, that would be unrealistic. But if you feel you can do it after being exposed to it for a while, I wouldn't mind giving it a try. Luo Yao naturally didn't know what Lin Xiao was thinking. She was just thinking about waiting for the class meeting to end and giving Lin Xiao a good look. Seeing the appearance of the old man, the students in the class became quiet again. The students even looked at the old man with reverence in their eyes. Lin Xiao also noticed this and gently touched Hu Yu, who was sitting next to him. Who is this? Why do you feel like you all know him? Hu Yu, *Rho. Brother Xiao, are you serious? You came to Lingwu in Kyoto to go to school. You don't even know the principal of our school, right? Lin Xiao scratched his head in embarrassment. Not to mention, he really doesn't know her. As the principal of the school, why do you come to their class? Could it be that the principal himself is their counselor? Isn't this a bit unjustifiable? The old man walked to the podium, looked at the students in the class, and nodded with satisfaction. Especially when looking at Luo Yao and Lin Xiao, the smiles on their faces became even brighter. Lin Xiao caught this point keenly, and he also understood the reason. It was simply because he was a related household. Lin Xiao was right. Under normal circumstances, as the principal of Kyoto Lingwu, he did not need to be a counselor himself. Even if there is a genius like Luo Yao among the students this time. But the appearance of Lin Xiao made him decide to lead the class himself. How could he not be curious about someone who could let his 2 predecessors greet him personally and let him take care of them? Hello, fellow students, I believe you all know me, but the necessary procedures still need to be completed. My name is Chu Wenshan, the principal of Kyoto Lingwu, and also your counselor. I am a 9th level SSS level special department, superpower sword. I hope it can be helpful to everyone in the coming days. Although there were speculations before, they knew that Chu Wenzhen was really their counselor. The students couldn't help but get excited and applauded desperately. Chu Wenshan raised his hand to calm everyone down. Today's class meeting is nothing else. I just wanted to get to know everyone and choose a class president. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. Let's start with this classmate. The boy whose name was called quickly stood up, bowed to Chu Wenshan, and then walked onto the podium. Hello everyone, my name is Feng Zhang. I am from Pengcheng. I am a 2nd level SS level soil type. I like to play basketball. Please take care of me in the future. After Feng Zhang's introduction, everyone immediately applauded. Chu Wenshan also nodded and pointed at the other girl. The girls were not shy and walked up to the podium. Hello everyone, my name is Wu Xinyue, a 2nd level SS level therapy major. I come from Luoyang. I like listening to music. My name is Xu Jingyi, level 3 SSS psychic, from Luoyang. Lin Xiao felt mixed emotions in his heart as he listened to the introductions made by his classmates one by one. They are indeed the most powerful class in Kyoto Lingwu, each one more evil than the last. And then it was finally the turn of the 303 brothers. The first person to take the stage was Wen Jingxuan. Wen Jingxuan's appearance made many girls' eyes fall on him again. Hello, my name is Wen Jingxuan, I'm male, I like women, I have 2nd level SS level gravity control. My name is Sun Bin. I like to play with iron. I am a 2nd level SS level animal transformation type, and I have a white tiger type of animal transformation. I'm Hu Yu, I like to make money, I'm a 2nd level SS level animal transformation type, and I have the animal transformation type Xuanwu. After the 3 introduced each other, Many people in the class began to whisper. I'm sorry, aren't these the legendary three evils of Kyoto? I didn't expect that they got together. It seems that our class will not be able to stop in the future. It turns out that the handsome guy is the scumbag Wen Jingxuan. I originally thought that the one who is closest to the water will get the moon first, but now I think it's better to forget it. You don't want me to, even if you're a scumbag, I'll admit it. Hey, sister, are you so horny? Amidst the discussion among the people, Lin Xiao slowly walked onto the podium. Seeing Lin Xiao take the stage, Chu Wenshan's face showed a smile again. He was very interested in this little guy. After all, someone who can be recommended by his two predecessors is definitely not an ordinary person. Lin Xiao was a little confused at this time. How should he introduce himself? Should he say that he was from the strength system as stated in the admission notice, or should he describe his true power? After a brief mental struggle, he quickly made a decision. Redison and fellow villagers, my name is Lin Xiao. I come from Zuncheng. I like many things, so I won't list them all here. My admission notice states that I am a second-level SS-level power department. Please give me more in the future. Care. Lin Xiao felt that he was really a clever little kid. If he said this, even if everyone found out that he was lying in the future, they would not go into details. After all, his admission notice is really SS-level strength department. Just as Lin Xiao was about to step down, someone from the students below spoke. What does it mean that the admission notice says SS-level strength system? Isn't your superpower the strength system? Lin Xiao didn't expect to be discovered so soon. Someone spoke, others reacted, and everyone's eyes were on Lin Xiao. Indeed, Lin Xiao said that the admission notice was from the strength department. Why did he say that? This has to make people think deeply. Could it be that this guy's resume is fake? Chu Wenshan also looked at Lin Xiao playfully. He knew Lin Xiao's situation and wanted to see how Lin Xiao solved the crisis at hand. Lin Xiao had a headache, but he soon felt relieved. If my guess is correct, the time I spend with these classmates will not be too short. Sooner or later, these people will know what their powers are. In this case, it is better to say it directly. I didn't expect that all this would be discovered. No more pretending. I'm showing off my cards. In fact, my real power is F-level vision enhancement. Lin Xiao didn't know how much of a sensation his words caused among the students. This is the top class of Kyoto Lingwu. Even if Lin Xiao says that he is an unprecedented 4S awakener, they feel that they can accept it. However, Lin Xiao said that his superpower was F-level. So the question is, how did Lin Xiao come to this class? Shady. There must be something shady. Suddenly, everyone's eyes were on Chu Wenshan. How did Lin Xiao, an F-level awakener, enter Kyoto Lingwu? He even dared to say it in front of Chu Wenshan. Who gave him the courage? Principal, do we need an explanation? Yes, counselor, does our Kyoto Lingwu also have a shady story? Chu Wenshan had been watching the excitement before, but he didn't expect that Lin Xiao had no intention of hiding anything, which was somewhat beyond his expectation. He also wanted to see what Lin Xiao's abilities were. Since the two recommended Lin Xiao to come in, he would never believe it if he had no real abilities at all. Lin Xiao, please explain yourself. After revealing that his power was F-level, Lin Xiao knew that things would not go away so easily. There will definitely be people who doubt themselves, and the best way is to use strength to shut these people up. Although my power is F-level vision enhancement, it is actually correct to say that I am SS-level power system. You will know after testing it. That Zheng Jia, when you introduced me just now, you said that I am SS-level power system. How about we compare our strength? Zheng Jia also stood up at this time. He was very confident in his own strength. Lin Xiao, an F-level awakened person, wanted to compete with him in strength. He was really overestimating his abilities. I'm still afraid that you won't succeed. How are you going to compete? Let's arm wrestle. I'm really afraid that I might break your wrist accidentally. Lin Xiao was noncommittal. If he said such big words now, he would be slapped in the face soon. Looking at the wooden table in front of him, he felt that the table might not be able to withstand the competition for a while, so his eyes immediately focused on the other man. I remember you were a metal type. Strengthen this table. Otherwise, if you damage public property, you will have to pay compensation. The man who was called couldn't help rolling his eyes, but he strengthened the table anyway, and the table was soon covered with a thick layer of metal. Lin Xiao nodded with satisfaction and put his hands on the table. Bring it on. Zhang Jia naturally couldn't give in, so she sat directly opposite Lin Xiao and held her hands together. Chu Wenshan took the initiative to act as the referee, and when he saw that both of them were ready, he called start. Zhang Jia started to exert force at the first moment. He originally thought that he could defeat Lin Xiao easily. Who knew that no matter how hard he tried, Lin Xiao would not move at all? How can this be? He is a genuine strength type. Seeing Zhang Jia clenching her teeth, Lin Xiao looked relaxed. Classmate, have you not eaten? Try harder. Zhang Jia's face turned red, and he knew he had met his opponent. We can't continue like this. This guy's strength is really not small. It seems that it is impossible to defeat this guy without using spiritual skills. Be careful, I'm going to use my spiritual skills. Lin Xiao nodded. At this moment, Zhang Jia reminded himself that his character was not bad. Power increase. The power of violence. The fighting power intensifies. When Zhang Jia first started, he was afraid that his sudden increase in power would hurt Lin Xiao, but after using his spiritual skills, he found that Lin Xiao could not move at all. This also completely stimulated his competitive spirit, and he used all three power-enhancing spiritual skills. Lin Xiao finally felt a bit of pressure. As expected of an SS-level power system, he could almost catch up with him. The students around them looked at the two people in confusion. Zhang Jia, don't let go, use more force. Is there a possibility that Lin Xiao is an SS-level power type? You are stupid, how could it be the power system? Lin Xiao uses pure power, okay. Haven't you noticed that he hasn't used any spiritual skills at all? The words woke up the dreamer, and now the scene fell into silence again. Lin Xiao already has an understanding of his own power. From now on, it seems that his real power is stronger than the SS-level power system. Be careful, I'm going to use my strength. After Lin Xiao reminded him, he started to exert force directly. Although Zhang Jia was already prepared because of Lin Xiao's reminder, she still couldn't resist the absolute power. Soon his hand was pressed on the table by Lin Xiao. Promise, accept. Zhang Jia is not someone who cannot afford to lose. If he loses, he loses. There is nothing to worry about. It's just that he can't figure out why this is happening. Can you tell me why your power is so strong? Lin Xiao didn't know how to explain this problem. There were many reasons why he was so strong. Eating high-level spiritual beast meat was one of them. The most important thing was because of the pill. But these were not easy to explain. Well, just exercise more. Zhang Jia shocked face carrot back quote, oh. I believe you, if you can become so powerful just by exercising, is it necessary for those power awakeners to exist? He didn't delve into it. Everyone has their own secrets. If Lin Xiao didn't tell them, he definitely didn't want to tell them, and he wouldn't force them. Lin Xiao then looked at the others. Does everyone have any objections now? Others will naturally have objections. In terms of strength, he has surpassed the SS-level power system. He is indeed qualified to stay in this class. After Lin Xiao stepped down, Sun Bin and the other two looked at Lin Xiao in shock. They also just realized that Lin Xiao's power was so abnormal. Lin Xiao smiled slightly. Don't be stupid, there will be many surprises for you in the future. After Lin Xiao, only Luo Yao is left in the corner. Luo Yao also looked at Lin Xiao in surprise before walking onto the podium. My name is Luo Yao, a 4th level SSS light and dark person, from Jinling. You should all know my situation, but here, I still warn you, don't mess with me, otherwise I don't mind letting you know why I am called Sukuru as a witch. While speaking, Luo Yao glared at Lin Xiao fiercely. You don't need to look to know that Luo Yao is still dominated by her second personality. There was silence in the class, and many people looked at Luo Yao with awe. Only Lin Xiao still looked like a dead pig who was not afraid of boiling water. Luo Yao wanted to deal with this guy immediately, but when she saw Chu Wenshan beside her, she still held back. He snorted coldly and returned to his position. Seeing that everyone had finished their introductions, Chu Wenshan returned to the podium. Very good. I believe everyone has a certain understanding of each other. Now as the candidate for squad leader. There is no need to run for election. I will directly appoint you. Luo Yao is the strongest. Will you be the squad leader? Luo Yao pouted. I don't want it, whoever wants to take it will take it. Chu Wenshan didn't expect Luo Yao to be so disrespectful. The little girl has her own personality, so just don't do it right. Lin Xiao, are you going to be the one? Lin Xiao didn't expect that Chu Wenshan would name him as the squad leader, and he quickly waved his hand. Counselor, you'd better find someone else. I'm lazy and not suitable for being a monitor. What Lin Xiao said was true. He just wanted to lie down and leave the thankless job of squad leader to others. Chu Wenshan was speechless. What was going on? Why was this squad leader like a hot potato? He didn't want any of them. Xu Jingyi, then you can be the squad leader. Xu Jingyi is a level 3 expert, the highest level in the class except Luo Yao, and no one else has any objection to being the class leader. Okay, counselor. In this case, the matter is settled. Lin Xiao will stay for a while, and the others can go back. Lin Xiao, who was suddenly called by name, was speechless. Cue me for what? Can't you just be a rice bug without any worries? I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.